Hey everyone, today is Friday the 2nd of August 2019. This is The Gap, episode 478. I'm Lawrie, Joab Gilroy is here, and we're back for another episode of this podcast.
This podcast, that is correct. The greatest podcast.
Not the podcast that you did last week by yourself.
What? Yeah.
No, it was actually pretty good. I listened to it.
It was, yeah. It's actually worse now that you're back, but it's fine. I'll let you interject every now and then. I guess it keeps things a little bit spicy. That was a weird podcast. I was deliberately attempting to rise to the challenge, which Nate had set in his solo 2-hour E3 edition. And so I wasn't deliberately taking myself off on tangents. I just wasn't restricting myself, which I do tend to do. I do tend to stop myself from going off on tangents while I'm talking to you, because I realize that that's not how humans converse with one another, right? Like it's a bit. I'm doing it right now, dominating conversation in a way that isn't necessarily conducive to a general conversation. Obviously, I still go off on tangents while you're on the podcast, but I try to rein it in a bit, and I just didn't. I didn't have to. There was no need. And I made it to 2 hours, and I didn't even have all of fucking E3 to talk about, so fuck you, Nate. Just want to open up this week's podcast by talking to the three of you that watch this on YouTube. You might notice that there's not a bunch of shit in the background in my room anymore. My wife, wonderful, while I was away on a trip that we did this week, my wife decided to reorganize my office, and in doing so, yeah. Well,
there's blood on the walls, and you've had to blur it out.
A murder did occur, because right now you can't see all the junk that used to just sit in the background, slowly piling up, while the hoarder that lives inside of me slowly took over. She's sort of hit the reset button on that. But while she was cleaning up my office space, she apparently decided to clean my office chair. And my chair, she's been wanting me to get a new chair for a while now. And she, I don't know what happened, but it broke. What a shock. The chair just magically broke out of nowhere. Who could have seen it coming? The chair she wanted to go away just happened to break. Yeah, had to go live on a fucking farm. Yeah, shocked. Shocked I was to hear that. Yeah, there was a murder. I contend that she murdered the chair. She did it on purpose, with malice and forethought. She murdered that chair, and I'll never get it back. I do need a new chair. I've got a chair at the moment. I went and bought this at Officeworks today. I shelled out 90 clams on this thing. I'm not wild about it, but it is a chair, and it does chair things. Until I got this thing, I was sitting on a fucking camping chair, and this is at least 24,000 times better than a fucking camping chair. Camping chairs are great when you're camping. Not great for trying to sit at a desk and do work. I was sort of like much lower than this, sort of like. Anyway,
you're pretty low at the moment.
Yeah, I can get this high.
That's better.
I can get so high. Anyway, this is obviously pointless for anyone who listens to the podcast. So 99.999 recurring % of our audience will get literally nothing out of this. But I did want to point out that speaking of things YouTube viewers would only understand, references YouTube viewers would only understand, I took the hoodie on the plane. I wore the hoodie on the plane, which is that giant pink blanket jumper that I wore on the podcast 2 weeks ago. And great success. High five, very nice. It was fucking amazing. You're just in a fucking blanket. Like, you just... I was sitting next to a big fat dude. It wasn't big and fat. It was just broad, right? He was a broad dude, and we were built the same, right? So Yeah, he was a big fat dude. And yeah, it didn't matter because he couldn't like. I just put my arm down on the half of the armrest that I get, right?
Mm.
And he'd put his arm down. I couldn't fucking feel him, right? Because I couldn't get through the layers of blanket. It was
Right.
beautiful. All the flight attendants loved it. They were mad about it, and they kept wanting to get me things because they just wanted to ask me where to get an hoodie.
Yeah.
I think I honest to God feel like Woody owe me some fucking money for that venture.
Right.
After I saw you sleeping next to nobody.
Yeah.
The only fucking empty seat on the fucking plane.
Right.
Which was kind of garbage. But after I accosted you over it, yeah, like everyone in the line for the toilet was like, "Oh, that looks so comfy." I'm like, "It is so comfy. Don't worry about me. I'm fucking comfy. You don't even know about comfort. I don't even mind being on, economy class seat with fucking 400 other cunts crammed in a fucking space the size of this fucking office. It's fine. We're good. Let's go." Yeah. Slept 8 hours on the plane.
Mm.
I never sleep for 8 hours on a plane. Like, even when I get a good sleep, I'm like, oh, I've got a good sleep. Good 3 hours of sleep. Fucking, I've mastered this.
On
I'm
a
the best
24-hour flight.
Nobody sleeps like I do on a fucking plane. Don't worry about this guy. I'm the fucking best. 3 whole hours. No, 8. I was like out like a light, right? And the dude next to me didn't fucking want to get up at all. It was weird. When I did get up, I got up after my 8 hours. He was like, "Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I got to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "You could have fucking asked. Like, just say something. Like, what the fuck?" Yeah. Weird.
I had the guy, the supervisor that was there,
Oh, yeah.
old mate Colin, remembered me from the flight the day before and was like, "Oh, if you want to go up to the first class lounge and stretch your legs later, just let me know." And I'm like, "No, I'll be fine."
Old mate
Thanks,
Colin. That's the thing, right? When you're a fucking hoity-toity fucking captain, nearly platinum fucking like Lukey is, right? Or they all come up and you "Oh, how are you going, Mr. Lawrie? Oh, hope you have a great flight with us today." And then, like, they did it to the person in front of me, right? Because the little girl, it was her birthday. Her birthday was the day we lost. So she didn't have 8th birthday or something.
She didn't have a birthday. She's still 7 forever.
She's 7, yeah, until next year. See how we go then. So, yeah, they came up, but apparently the mum was, like, gold, and she's like, "Oh, you're such a valued, thank you so much." And I tried to grab him for a fucking bottle of water while she was walking away. I'm like, "Hey, I didn't get a bottle of water before." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll come back."
Sit down, Bronzy.
How dare you speak to me with your bronze mouth? You disgusting pile of flesh. And then, yeah, she didn't actually get me a fucking bottle of water either. Like, that's the best part, right? She never came back with my fucking bottle of water. Everyone else, they gave out fucking 50,000 bottles of water, and I'm sitting there with, like, fucking nothing. I'm like, guess I'll go and get my own bottle of water. Went up to the fucking galley, and I'm like, "Hey, can I grab a bottle of water, please?" And they're like, "Just bring your other bottle of water, and we can fill it for you." I'm like, "I didn't get one." And they're like, "Okay." They did not want to. They had fucking dozens of them. I could see they were just fucking bottles for days, right? And they just did not want to give them out. They're like, "That's it. That's the end of that was our whole fucking gambit. We were going to get away with one extra bottle of water on our fucking great water bottle heist, but this is the margins on the heist now are shot because this dude wants his own extra bottle of fucking water." Anyway, I did have. Sorry, you go.
They were trying to get away with saving paper with the landing cards as well.
Right?
I got up at, I think there was about an hour and a half left on the flight or something, and I got up and went and talked to Colin again.
Of course.
And was like, "Did you guys have any spare landing cards?" Because I think I was asleep when they hand. Because I was out basically before the plane took off. I was pretty fucking tired. Yep. Yeah, and then I was like asking, and so they're looking around for this landing card, and he finds it, and I go back and sit down, and then like 10 minutes later, they're like, we don't have any landing cards. Like they actually didn't hand them out. They couldn't find them or something. But
They made an
I must have
announcement over the PA.
I must have reminded them.
They're like, yeah, we don't have any. Sorry if you didn't get one. We seem to have run out. Like, no, we did not. That's for the fucking last 3 rows in this fucking plane. Like, most of the people on this fucking plane don't give a fuck about this. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, they'll work it out. Who gives a fuck? Fuck those last 3 row pricks. We're up here in our own fucking filth. You know, we've got our fucking landing cards. Fuck those pricks. And you were those pricks. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And they got you a card anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to go fucking... They were like, Mr. fucking Captain Platinum wants a fucking landing card. Well, what are we going to do? I don't know.
Turn the plane around. We're going to get some.
We can't say we found one. We can't, like, just have magically found one. We have to have found enough for everyone. Like, there's 12 people that need fucking landing cards. And, like, well, you know, the water bottle heist is already fucking shots. So I guess the fucking landing card fucking gambit is through as well. I guess we just won't make any money on this fight. Just never going to fucking make any money at all. That's what happened. The best part about the water bottle thing is that I did have a water bottle. I brought my own water bottle. It was I brought 2 water bottles. One was full and got me caught trying to go through security with a giant fucking water bottle. And the security dude was like, "You made 2 mistakes. Do you know what your mistakes were?" I'm like, "No, man. Like, just let's go." And he's like, "Well, your first mistake was that you put your bag on top of your laptop." I'm like, "Well, there wasn't any trays." So he's like, "And your second mistake was," and he pulls out my empty water bottle. I'm like, "I thought I could have an empty water bottle." And he's like, "Hold on," puts it down, pulls out a fucking another full water bottle. And he's like, "This one." I'm like, "Fuck, you got me, damn it." And then I left my fucking suitcase there. I was not firing on all cylinders once we got to that airport, man.
Yeah. And then you were giving me shit before you even
That's the worst. That's the worst thing. That is the worst part, is that I just finished giving Luke shit, and then the dude's like, "Look who fucking fucked up at security. It's Captain Joab."
Yeah. We left security, and then, like, "Joe, where's your bag?" Fuck.
And I'm like, "Yeah," you're like, "Where's your bag?" And I like sort of hoisted my shoulders, like, "Fucking, here we go.
It's right here.
I get to get back and look for this one, right? Like, I've got some back again." And then, like, "Yeah, your bag, your other bag," and I'm like, "Fuck!" Run back down to the fucking... Nobody had taken it. Just walk up, like, grab the bag, and then turn it and, like, walk straight away. It must have looked like I was stealing someone's bag. It must have. But yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, week before I was in Paris for something that I can't talk about yet.
Still?
No, not for a couple of weeks.
What about the fucking other thing? You didn't put it.
The other thing, I can talk about that, but the embargo is later tonight. So that one's the Outer Worlds, and I think we'll leave that one till next week.
Okay. So
because I feel like we've got quite a bit for this one.
It's true.
So we'll leave Outer Worlds for next week, and then the other game for the week after.
Look at us. We get content for weeks.
We have so much content. Exclusive content. Like, literally exclusive content. Australian exclusive content.
All content I do is exclusive. You won't get anything like it anywhere else.
I get on the plane to go to Paris, and the first stop is to Dubai.
Yep.
And there's rows next to me that are free. Sorry, 2 seats next to me, and then I sit down, and just before I'm about to take off, this couple like wanders in from behind me and like jumps into the spots. I'm like, "Oh, okay, fair enough, whatever." And then after the plane takes off, they jump back up, and they're like looking. They're like, "We're gonna move back to the back again."
I'm
like, "Okay, cool, fine with me." And then they disappear, and then come back like 10 minutes later and sit back in that spot again. I'm like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." But as they're sitting there, they're like coughing and like sniffling and sneezing and stuff. I'm like, "Oh man, these guys are sick." They're definitely sick. And so I'm like, whatever. I fall asleep and
power down.
Power down. Get a decent amount of shutdown.
Yep.
And I wake up in Dubai about an hour before we land, and I'm like, oh, my throat's feeling like a little bit ticklish. Like you get that little something doesn't feel right, and you're like, oh, okay. So we eventually land, and I'm with Adam. I'm with Adam Matthews in the lounge. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely got something from those guys. Like, that's fun. And so from Dubai we go to Paris. Yeah. You know, if you're smart enough, maybe you can figure out who I was there with. But we eventually land, and at this stage I've had more sleep, and I'm starting to like actually feel sick now. Like I'm like, okay, it just wasn't a throat tickle. This is like me getting sick a day before I'm supposed to do this event.
Yeah,
this is going to be fucking fantastic.
Nice.
And I'm also on the other side of the planet in a country that doesn't really speak. I mean, they speak English, but they don't like to. A lot of them speak English, but they don't like to.
Yeah.
And so I get to the hotel. I go and get a bunch of like a fucking crate of water. I go grab like a box of fucking tissues at the pharmacy that's like across the road.
Yep.
It's about 3:00 in the afternoon.
Does your hotel not have tissues?
They didn't have any in the room. It was weird. I don't. They had. I'll tell you what they did have in the room. It was like this fucking sex dungeon hotel. There was these lights, and on the lights they had masks, and the masks were like Darth Vader and Batman and like Donald Duck and like all these sort of fictional characters. Sexy masks. And like downstairs in the hotel lobby there were like a glass cabinet full of like vibrators that they were selling and shit like that. It was a very strange hotel. But the actual TVs they had in there were Apple TV monitors or some sort of Apple device,
right? And
they had cameras on them, and people were taking photos of them in all these masks in weird positions and shit, and like uploading them to like the hotel cloud. So it was fucking nuts, man. There was some good ones in there. Nothing like inappropriate, but not people like having sex and banging each other and shit like that. But there was a couple with people without clothes on and like, or without a t-shirt on, and just like having a bit of fun and whatever.
Right.
It was obviously being moderated or something by the hotel staff, but it was just funny to see all these different. Like in some pictures, it was like fucking 10 people in this room with masks on. So they must have all went back to their room, grabbed all these masks, and then came back to take photos.
That's awesome.
So we spent quite a bit of time like flicking through these things.
That's awesome. Cool.
So anyway, no tissues. I get them, and I basically go to sleep from about 3:00 in the afternoon. I wake up, go downstairs, get some pizza at this restaurant that's in the hotel, which is absolutely packed full of people. I go back upstairs, I eat, and then I fall asleep and wake up at like 8:00, 9:00 in the morning the next day. So I sleep for like 15 hours, and I'm starting to feel pretty good at this stage. Like when I got up to go get dinner, I was like, I'm fucking gonna be horse shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I am totally done. But I managed to be okay. Like I get up the next day and I'm like, I don't feel sick. Like it feels like I just got over it the night before. You know, when you're sick, you feel sick, and as you sort of get over it, you feel like you're better, but maybe your voice is still a bit sounding sick, and you kind of coughing a little bit to try and get all the fucking gunky shit out of your lungs. And like at that stage, I don't feel sick anymore, but I'm good. I'm ready to go. And so we went for a walk later that day, and down to like a cemetery and whatnot, and it was a really nice walk. But at that stage I started to feel a lot better, and our session for the game that we've seen that I can't talk about was in the afternoon. And so we went and did all that, and then the next day we went for a walk. It was like we had the event was supposed to be across 2 days, but they'd sort of
condensed it.
Had a bit of a mix up. accidentally put everybody in the first day and managed to get through everything on that first day. And then
Nice.
we had a second day there now where it was kind of nothing to do.
Yep.
And it was 42 degrees in Paris at that day, where like Europe was breaking records in terms of temperature and whatnot. So it wasn't like Australia hot, where it gets really hot and it's kind of like sticky and muggy and you kind of really feel it. This is just hot with like, you could tell it was hot, but it's not like you don't feel like, holy shit, I can't go outside.
Right.
So we did go outside and we went for a walk and went to a bunch of touristy places, which was quite easy to get around. We basically jumped on a train and
Yeah.
stopped off at a couple places, went and saw, just some tourist attractions and took some photos and whatnot. Yeah, so it was good little trip. Got on the plane, came back. I got upgraded on the plane from Hong Kong back to Sydney, which was awesome, which was really good. So that was, helpful for someone that was like, I felt like shit all week. I just want to fucking sit on this plane and go to sleep. And I got a really comfy chair, so it was excellent. Then I get back, and then you and I, we go on this next trip, and that is about 2 days later, I think. So yeah, that's kind of where that story ends. But
Nice.
I don't know if we want to talk about that or sort of lead up to what we were there for.
No, we want to talk about all the other things before
Other
we
things.
get
Okay,
to...
so I'll talk about this other thing. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was a plane game I was checking out.
I played it on the plane as well.
Yeah. We talked about X-Men Legends, I believe, way back in the day. And, what was it, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2?
We probably talked about Marvel Ultimate Alliance too.
Yeah, I do remember. I've played a bunch of them. I really liked the past X-Men Legends / Marvel Ultimate games that I think it was Raven were making back in the day.
Yep.
When they actually made games, and now they just make maps for Call of Duty.
Yeah. I liked Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 better than X-Men Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, but I did still enjoy them in that there was a lot of fan service. They were really fun co-op. And yeah, that was about it. Fan service and co-op, essentially. Otherwise it was sort of just a mash 'em up type game to me. But it was good, right? There's no
It's sort
question.
of like Diablo, but with X-Men characters or Marvel characters. And they were doing things like adding in orbs, right? They did the orbs thing before, at least Diablo did. I don't know where they borrowed it from, but
What orbs?
it was like health orbs.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, yeah, they did. Which is pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, big love for those games back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is a Switch exclusive made by, is it Team Ninja or is it Team 17? One of the teams?
Team Ninja, I believe, yeah.
Working on it.
Yeah.
It sort of follows the events of Thanos collecting Infinity Stones and then wanting to do things with them.
Yep.
That sort of plays out by having you, assemble a team of heroes and along the way grab a bunch of other heroes from the Marvel universe, some of which aren't in the MCU.
Yeah.
The actual one we know at the moment. So it's sort of loosely based on just, I guess, them wanting to do what's happening in the MCU, but at the same time telling their own sort of story.
Yeah.
While bringing all these characters that aren't necessarily in that MCU, things like Miss Marvel and Wolverine, stuff like that, and then doing like a really basic job of introducing these characters, sort of like, hey, here's someone that's you might know, and then they kind of just show up for a sort of split moment, and then it's kind of like, all right, see you later, and then all of a sudden they're like kind of in your team.
Yep.
It's very loosely like trying to figure out how to get them in the story and then getting rid of them and then getting the next person in, like, hey, here's Wolverine, and then here's Miss Marvel over here, and then here's Venom, because he's here, And then Loki's here too, and it just kind of just keeps going through all these characters. Daredevil next. So yeah. Anyway, in terms of the action stuff, I'm enjoying the action, and like it's super basic in terms of the combat and whatnot. You can basically sort of synergize your character's abilities with some of the other characters in your team. There's 4 of them that you can put together, and each character has different abilities. They've got different synergies that they can use, and if you sort of pair them up with somebody else that's got something similar, then you start getting bonuses, and you're able to do different types of move sets with those characters. But the thing that's kind of not clicking for me is that it gives you all these options and things that you can do, but you just don't really need to use it because the combat is just so plain.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there is a dodge button or a block button, and I do not use it at all. Like it is, and I think the main reason is just because the camera is so far back, and you can't see when you're supposed to be blocking anyway, or when you're supposed to be rolling, because you can't tell if somebody's attacking you or if they're just running at you, because that device is just, I mean, it's a small device, but the camera is also so far back that you just can't see what is going on most of the time.
Yeah, it's like terrible camera, like god awful camera, and one thing I noticed was that like it spikes in difficulty, like it is basically at like not 0 difficulty, it's like a 5, right? And then it'll spike to like 85, and then it'll be back at 5, and you'll be like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
but have you died?
No, I didn't die, but it was like
at all yet.
I was like fucking literally just hitting buttons and not really paying that much attention, and then I'd get into a fight, and then I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Holy shit, I gotta fucking do some shit here. And then like
actually gotta stop playing.
Yeah, I gotta fuck play this game. Whoa, I thought it was just some sort of fucking hitting buttons to mash to the next fucking fucking weird cutscene. No. Yeah, some fighting. Gotta do some thinking. It's not terribly difficult once you work out how that fight actually like works. The only real problem is that it's got like the health bar on it is like 7,000 times longer than it really needs to be, or whatever. And like, all right, okay, I'll just do this for a bit, and then on to the next bit. Back at 5 again. Back at 5 difficulty, and you're like, okay, cool. I'll just stop paying attention then.
Yeah, it's these like waves that it does, where it's kind of introducing these characters, and it's sort of like a way of being like, here's how you sort of, it kind of gives you an idea of what their powers are, I guess. Like it teams you up with them, and it's more like just a cannon fodder scenario. Yeah, and then it starts to kind of ramp up a little bit with each sort of mini boss, and then it comes back down again.
Yeah. I don't feel like it's so fucking nothing that when it ramps up a bit, it's such a fucking spike, and then it's back down to. Yeah, it's such a fucking weird way for it to go about. Like combat, because it just makes it just turns all combat that isn't at 85 into dull, mindless bullshit, and then the stuff that is at 85 is literally just figuring out the trick, and then
hoping you survive.
Like, you don't like, I hope you survive long enough to actually get to the trick, and then once you get the trick, and then you realize, like, once you get to the trick, you're like, I was never really in that much danger, right? Like, it's only difficult relative to how easy it has been the rest of the fucking time. I don't know. I just don't.
It's just so weird, because the combat is like the way the combat is set up, and you sort of compare that to everything else that's in the game. Like, combat is so basic and easy, and then there's so much depth in the rest of it, with being able to, like, the synergies of different characters and working out like what your team composition is going to be, and then like leveling up those characters and putting points into their abilities, and then I don't know if you've gotten to the part where you get the ISO stones, and then you start putting.
I'll stop playing.
So the ISO stones are basically like modifiers for the characters. So like, hey, an extra 15% damage if you apply this stone to this character. And so you start getting all these different stones, and then that's like another thing you can kind of tinker with. So there's like all these layers of depth in there that you can go in and play with. That's including like the cubes that you can get to level characters up, and that giant grid that you spend points in to get, you've got your health bonuses and your attack and resilience and defense and energy that you can kind of work your way through. So there's all that stuff there. Like there's all these little intricate sort of ways that you can customize these characters to make them more powerful and whatnot. But on the other end, the combat is just like mindless pressing a button and just mashing that constantly.
Yeah.
And then once your meter gets up, you're like, all right, well, I'm going to use some meter and burn that now. But otherwise, it's just like, why?
And I found myself literally only burning meter, like, to expedite. Like, the fucking fight. Like, it's not like I'm holding time to use my super. Yeah. It'd be like if fucking Goku walked around and like was fighting fucking dozens and dozens of those little fucking whatever the fuck they're called, garlic men, and then fucking like started just fucking spirit bombing cunts for like just to fucking chop through to the next bit. Like it's like, yeah, okay, fucking spirit bomb. Yeah, okay, instant transmission, Kamehameha, and then like fucking on to the next bit, and then like fucking Cell shows up, and you're like, how the fuck am I going to beat this cunt? Fucking Cell's like fucking teleporting everywhere, and then you're like, oh, right, yeah, fucking it's spirit bomb. It's done. Move on. Next. Like, it's fucking cooked. I'm not wild about how they fucking... Oh, I stopped playing. I can't do it anymore. I play it multiplayer. I play it in co-op, but I don't see me playing it in co-op with anyone, so... Yeah. I think it's...
I mean, there's some stuff in there that's, like, there's puzzle elements and does, like, puzzly things in the game that sort of breaks up the combat and whatnot. There are moments in the game where it sort of transitions between set pieces that look nice. Have you done the Daredevil stuff yet?
No.
No, okay. There's some stuff there that later on that looks impressive as it's sort of transitioning between different areas and whatnot. So like there's things in there that it looks really cool. Like there's a moment where you're sort of fighting a villain and on Avengers Tower, and then eventually it sort of transitions to you getting on an elevator and going up, and there's this giant battle sort of happening in the background, and that's sort of interacting with what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
So like there's some cool set piece moments in the game, but the combat is just like so tedious and boring, and like just there's no... It's trying to give you all these things to do in the combat, but you just don't need it. Like teaming up with your partners and like, oh, this character over here is doing a special ability, press the Y button. But it's sort of hard to really notice that. Like you don't know that that's happening unless you're actually looking at the character screen.
Yeah.
For that to come up, and by the time you do it, it's like, oh, it's gone. Okay, cool, fair enough. So yeah, I mean, I think the game's fine, but it's definitely not... I guess disappointing is probably a word to say.
Yeah.
A way to put it. It just feels like it doesn't really know what type of game it wants to be. On one hand, it's got this... Like, it's trying to tell a Marvel MCU story that's just, like, finished. That was a 10-year, 20-plus movie sort of thing. And they've got characters from that story in this game. You've got people like Nick Fury, who the actor, or they basically like, hey, give us your best Sam Jackson impression. And then on the other side of the spectrum, it's like, all right, here's Spider-Man, but it's Spider-Man from the Marvel PS4 game. Like, it's that Spider-Man.
Yep.
And then you've got like a character like, I don't know, Vision or something that doesn't really sound like Paul Bettany's Vision or anything. Like, it's just a weird mix of, like, this person over here is doing the Marvel MCU thing. This one's doing like a PlayStation 4 game, and then this character is just doing their own thing, like completely different. Here's one over here that you've never heard of because they're just part of like the comics. It's just like a weird mix of, they just don't know really what they want this game to be.
there's no coherence to the style.
Sure.
Like it doesn't. You have to pick one, right? Like for as unenthusiastic as I am about the Avengers game, at least they've fucking defined their style. I think they borrowed too much from how we understand the Marvel Cinematic Universe Avengers. But they're doing their own version of those characters. I think I think we said it way back at E3, but they could do something like Insomniac did and make it their own, make the costumes their own, right? But Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is like, we've got all these characters, we'll just do a bit of all of them. We'll do a bit of this one and that one. Why the fuck not, right? Like, but I think Marvel has for a long time really cemented itself in that idea of the universes. And have you finished it? Like, I don't know, does it get to a point where they're like, these cunts are from Earth 616 and these guys from Earth 614B, and like, that's what's going on here. That's why you're so confused. Like, that's why everyone looks like they're fucking from a billion different fucking properties or some shit. Like, is it doing that shit, right? Because I know Marvel are leaning pretty heavily after the success of, well, maybe not success, the critical success of Enter the Spider-Verse. I know they're gung-ho for the fucking multiverse shit, Doctor Strange and the Marvels of the multiverse, or whatever the fuck it's called, right? Like, they're about that shit, right? And, like, they played heavily into it in Far From Home and all that kind of stuff. Like,
sure.
Yeah, like, clearly they're about, they love the idea of the multiverse, so maybe that's what they're driving at. Maybe it's all on purpose. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to find out because I can't be bothered fucking playing it.
Yeah, and that's strange, right? Is it the Marvel properties, the Marvel MCU stuff is sort of toying with the idea of this multiverse stuff, but on the comic side, they've really stepped away from that, and they've made it all sort of like flat.
Yeah.
Like there was this multiverse stuff, but then they had this big event where it all sort of tied everything together, and so
but like they both do that a billion fucking times. Like DC and Marvel both do that like every fucking 6 years at this point. They're like, it's Infinite Crisis. It's our latest fucking Civil War or whatever the fuck, right? They're uniting the fucking experience that brings it all together. But yeah, like I don't know, it won't last. It will never last.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Like what I'm hoping happens is that Marvel Games, Marvel Game Publishing. I can't remember what the name of it is, but they start doing this like this, and we talked about it when when E3 happened, and we saw the Avengers game from Square.
Yeah.
Sorry, Crystal Dynamics. And I hope it is going to be sort of this universe that they're building. Like, hey, here's the Marvel characters and Iron Man and Captain America and Hulk and all those guys, and then also like Spider-Man is in there, but he's actually part of the same universe, just a separate game. Like, I hope they start doing that sort of stuff, but hopefully whatever is going on with this Switch game is just like completely separate and like maybe Marvel had nothing to kind of do with that one. Maybe it was in the works before they decided to put this publishing team together, because it sounds like they've definitely been hiring people over at Marvel for this stuff. And maybe they're going to rein back some of that control, because I think man, like they've conquered the movies completely. Like they're doing things nobody's ever done before, and it's strange that it took them so long to do like a Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game that was good, like really good. And then and that's kind of been it. Like we don't know what else they've got in the pipeline. So they've got to have something planned. Yeah. Hopefully. Anyway, a bit of a miss. I like it's fine if you've got, I guess, not much to play on a Switch, but it's got a lot of problems.
Speaking of playing games. And speaking of Switch games, Fire Emblem 3 Houses or 3 Kingdoms or whatever the fuck it's called. That was my playing game. I did not like it.
We're gonna get a lot of Switch hate.
Like, aren't we always? I'm on this podcast, so pretty much always. I'm so thoroughly disillusioned by that purchase. I mean, I
Didn't you get pranked by your brother? Is that what's going on?
It's been like essentially coasting on the goodwill of Breath of the Wild the entire fucking lifespan of the Switch. Like I am happy. Breath of the Wild was worth the purchase of a Switch, but as an ongoing device, I am extremely fucking unhappy with it. Fire Emblem.
Rabbids is good.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I wouldn't have bought a Switch for it. It's just nice to have a fucking game that I like on the Switch, mostly. Yes, anyway, Fire Emblem. My brother, told me I should get this, and I did. And I don't like it, though. But, like, everyone on my Twitter was fucking blowing up with this game. They were losing their fucking minds about how good this game was. And this is definitely one of those fucking Mugatu fucking I feel like I'm taking crazy pills moments for me, because I just don't understand what the fuck the appeal is. I looked into it heavily to try to work out what the fuck people were on about. I don't usually read reviews before I've finished a game or before I am certain I've formed my own opinion on it. But I very quickly, I had a 13-hour plane flight, and I put this down after 3 hours because the camera is fucking terrible, and after
having a competition,
after playing fucking Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, right? Like, I don't know, like, is this some Japanese devs joke that us white cunts don't get? Like, I don't fucking understand why these cameras are routinely so bad. The other one I played was Dragon Quest Builders 2, and also terrible cameras. Not as bad, but I think, like, ultimately it's a bit of a Switch thing as well, in that those thumbsticks are fucking garbage.
I think the Joy-Cons are just garbage.
The Joy-Cons in general,
judging by the news terrible. Recently.
Yeah. The reason they're getting sued is because of the thumbsticks in particular, though. But they are fucking terrible. Anyway, so Fire Emblem, it's an RPG, a tactics RPG, tactics style RPG, where you're a dude and you become a teacher, and it's like half dating sim where I don't think you fuck anyone, and half tactics game.
Where you spend the rest of it trying to figure out how to.
Yeah. Like, when am I gonna get to bone someone? Like, I don't go in for dating sims. They're not my jam. I don't know why my brother would tell me I should get this, except for the obvious answer being that he was trolling me. But that's a fairly fucking dick move, right? Like, that is a fucking one hell of a stitch up.
What if it was me? What if I told him to tell you?
I hadn't even considered that, but it does seem plausible to me.
That's how deep this scene's going now.
Yeah.
Telling your family members.
Yeah. You probably told Fiona to kill my fucking chair as well, you fuck. Anyway, trying to push that fucking concept out of my head. Like you start off, it's just tactics games. I like tactics as a control scheme. I generally think it works pretty well. It's especially good for the mobile, that sort of portable platform. I think it really translates to that. You know, where you've got like a grid and you move people to the grid, and like you manage your grid so that you're trying to get people into range where they can't be damaged immediately, and then you can do all your damage all at once. That sort of thing. Like, it makes sense to me. It's always made a lot of sense to me. So yeah, it just sort of translates very quickly for me. I guess in a way, auto chess games are sort of very passive tactics style thing, you know? Because at the end of the day, positioning is king, right? Like, positioning in both tactics games and auto chess is a large portion of why you'll win. Like if it's a 50-50 matchup, your positioning was what will win you the game. And tactics games, they're good. Like I really enjoy them. Then like once you've done the fighting, and it's mostly about terrain management, as far as I can tell from what I've played of fucking Fire, and it's mostly about making sure you've got high ground or XCOM stuff. Once you've done all that, you then go and you move to the dating sim portion where you're never going to date anyone, as far as I can tell. Man, there is a chick, Miguela or something. I can't remember her name. She's another teacher in this game. She hits on you harder than I've ever seen anyone hit on anyone in my entire life.
Yeah. And
like she's got her tits out and everything. It's very odd. It's a very odd character to have in a game because apparently you're old enough to be a student, and she's just like, "Oh, what's going on? You and I should fuck," essentially. And you're like, "I'm a new teacher here," and she's like, "Yeah, whatever." I didn't ask for your life story. Get your fucking pants off, right? But you never fuck. And then you've got like all these other characters, and you got to learn all about them. And you can go fishing, and you can have a lunch date with them, even though you're a teacher. And you got calendars, and you got to manage. You got to buy them flowers on their birthdays, and you got to like be nice to them and work out what their needs are, and all this kind of shit. And there's like fucking 60 fucking billion fucking students at this fucking school, and you got to be fucking best friends with all of them. And yeah, you pick a house. You pick a house to help out, like fucking Gryffindor or some shit. And you're like, well, I guess I choose Gryffindor. And then there's two other houses, and from that moment on, the two other houses just aren't fancy because you picked Gryffindor. You can go black and play it again, and like pick the other. You can pick fucking Hufflepuff or Slytherin. Like, you can go and pick those ones if you want, but fucking, how many times are you going to play this fucking game? And yeah, you do dating sim things. The worst part is, right, you are, like, you're on the school grounds. This is where the camera really kicks in, because fucking hell, it is set about fucking 30 centimeters from the back of your character's head, and it's just following you around. And honest to God, it looks like a first-person shooter where your gun, instead of having a gun, you've got some fucking effeminate, like fucking skinny dude running around in front of you, like just fucking, that's your gun. Because you can't see anything except out of the fucking 12% of the screen that's not taken up by this fucking dude's head. You're just like, well, turn this corner, and then you'll turn a corner and the camera will zoom out, and you're like, fucking finally, here we go. But no, it only zooms out to about like fucking 4 inches further. So you got about 30% total of the screen now instead of about 12. It's better, but it's still really bad. And then, yeah, you got to run around this entire fucking school finding motherfuckers to talk to you. Better run to the library. Oh, now I got to run to the fucking dining hall. Got to go to the cathedral and see if anyone's up there. Fucking fishing, and then you're doing some gardening and all this shit. Then once you've done all that, you go out in a battle, and nothing you did while at school appears to have had any fucking impact on anything you're doing in the battle. Like, maybe they level up a bit faster. And the people that you use the most, like, get morale boosts. Like if I had this one chick in my class who was very good at fighting, in that she would like fucking one-shot cunts, like just fucking clunk. They'd like get critted and die, and then from there, you're like, okay, well, I guess I will use her again, obviously. But then, like, the fucking battle finishes, and she's, like, MVP, and it's like, her morale can't be any higher, right? So it seems like if they're MVP, it boosts their morale. But I'm not going to use fucking Captain Spanner over here, who fucking every time he fucking throws a fucking lightning bolt at someone that does fucking 3 damage, and then they fucking shoot him with an arrow for 90% of his health, right? Like, I'm playing permadeath mode because that's the extra layer of fucking troll that my brother put on me. And so, like, if anyone loses more than half their health, they run the fucking other way, right? Because I'm not losing people, right? Like, I don't give a fuck if they don't have, like, I have to fight this fucking shit on my own, right? Nobody's dying in these fucking battles. But then, like, if I just send in Axe Chick, right, and she just crits everyone to death in one hit, why wouldn't I just do that every single time? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so then, yeah, I got my fishing done, and I go back to gardening, and then I got to run around the fucking school and make sure everyone's birthday flowers arrive, and got to talk to them and ask them if they want to join my class, but I don't have high enough stats yet, or whatever the fuck, and I don't know. I just don't give a fuck.
You got to deal with that teacher that's always going after you.
Obviously, the first thing I do anytime I can run around the school is I run directly to her room to see if she's ready to go. But I don't know, not yet. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. Everything I saw out of the reviews was like praising the pacing, and all I could think about was how much I hated the pacing. They're like, it's so great to be able to take the time to, learn more about your students and really understand what they want and stuff. And clearly I had some different idea of what a fucking Fire Emblem game was going to be. So, like, my criticism of it is from the perspective of someone who expected to play some kind of cool tactics RPG, when what I should have been going into it for was some sort of dating sim / tactics RPG, right? And so going in and expecting tactics RPG and getting dating sim is clearly on me, right? The reality is Fire Emblem isn't a bad game. It's just not my game, not the game for me, right? It doesn't excuse the fucking terrible camera, right? But if you are into a dating sim, then I suppose this would, like, if you're into those dating sim type of games, like, I think Persona is quite similar, where you're managing, like, how am I going to be into, like, I don't even want to manage my fucking calendar in real life.
It's hard.
I just hate it. I hate managing my own fucking real life calendar, and it's literally the only way I ever get anything done. But, like, now I've got to fucking manage a calendar in the fucking game as well. Like, what the actual fuck are they thinking? But yeah, if you're about that shit, then, like,
yeah,
I think it might be your sort of game. I think the tactics gameplay is quite good, right? Like, once you're doing that stuff, it's quite engaging. And yeah, if relationship management shit is your jam, then it seems like it's got what it needs. The camera is inexcusable, but, like, the rest of it seems quite good. I just can't fucking do those games, man. I fucking hate them.
Did you ever play Persona 5?
Like, for, I don't know, 30 minutes?
Right.
Then I watch my brother play for an hour, and I'm like, no, I'm never going to play this, man. Like, fuck this shit. What the fuck? Fuck out of here. Yeah, no, I don't like this. I don't like relationship management games. Maybe there's some sort of fucking... Maybe, like, there's clearly appeal, right? And I don't know. There must be some sort of... There's always one way to look at something. There's a perspective that you can adopt. Like, I personally think there's a perspective you can adopt to get yourself into anything that's hyper popular, right? Like, you can always find some way to look at something to make it so that you're about that life, right? Like, I just don't know what it is, right? I never worked it out with Monster Hunter either, right? Like, Monster Hunter is the most immediate, super fucking popular thing that I just don't fucking understand how people could enjoy it. But, yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, if anyone listening knows how I'm supposed to look at a fucking relationship management, calendar management game. Like, because obviously the way even the way I describe it, right? Like calendar management is clearly not positive, right? It's not. I'm not framing it in a positive light because I don't think of it in a positive way, right? If you can frame it in a positive light, if there's some sort of fucking way to explain it that is gonna fucking get me across the line, then yeah, let me know. 100%. I would love to hear it, but it just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't exist for me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was a big waste of time on the plane. So the other thing I did on the plane was watched The Boys, and it's a new TV show at Amazon Prime. It is based on a comic book by the same name. I read the comic book fucking yonks ago. I was stoked to see this was getting a TV series because I think it's got. I couldn't really imagine how they're going to make it into a TV series because I was still stuck in like a old school mindset of what is allowed on a fucking TV screen. But
Yeah.
we're in a post Game of Thrones world, and so you can do whatever the fuck you want on television now. So yeah, Boys is fucking amazing. It just fucking holy shit. It just goes direct for the fucking throat.
Yeah. It goes basically to the source materials. Like we can do that.
Yeah, yeah. It does change a bunch of stuff from the source material. It's been a while since I read The Boys, but yeah, it changes a bunch of stuff, but it's all awesome changes. Like all the changes, I think are fucking fantastic, and yeah, it tells this fantastic story. It's based in a world where superheroes exist, and they might not be the best people.
They're all dickheads.
They're all kind of dickheads, yeah. Yeah, it goes from there. And fuck, it's good. It's so good. I smashed all of it. And then on the way, the other thing I did on the plane was played Underlords, but we can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
like now?
Oh, why is the Blackout Club on here?
Oh, okay, Blackout Club. Because I didn't talk about it last week. I listened to you speak about the game.
Sure.
I will say that my thoughts are pretty similar to yours in terms of for people who didn't know, Blackout Club is a survival horror. I guess it's survival horror.
Yeah.
Co-op game, or it can be a co-op game.
Yep.
Where you're playing a bunch of kids who sort of like the town has been taken over by some sort of weird
Cult
supernatural thing. And anyway, the first sort of level that we played, well, I guess to start off at the very beginning, the game gives you a tutorial and you have to play about 15-20 minutes before like it's telling you all the basics and whatnot. And eventually it chucks you into this like sort of sandbox world, and it's like, go find these these things out in the world that you need to collect, and then sometimes it'll lead you to the next objective. Other times, like, all right, that's kind of all you need to do for this mission. Go to the exit, and yeah, it's just like weird pacing. To start off with, it's like you're sort of scared for the actual monsters and weird creatures that are in the world. Like, fuck, there's this giant thing that's chasing me and I don't know what it's going to do. Like, that thing is terrifying. But then eventually, like, after the first mission, like, oh, none of this really matters. Like, it's just sort of loses that appeal of having to stealth around because you can just kind of get caught and then run away.
Sort of reminds me of like Payday.
Yeah.
When you'd work out there were missions. Like some missions you absolutely had to stealth your way through, but there were some missions, like I remember there was one where you had to like rob some ATMs.
Yeah.
Right, and you could stealth that. It was tricky, but you could stealth it and you could get away with a bunch of money. Or you could just walk in, shoot the fucking shopkeep in the head, and start like breaking open these fucking ATMs. And like the cops would come, and you'd fight your way out, and it'd be fine. And you would it would be way faster than trying to stealth your way through. You know, like it'd just, and so essentially it'd be more efficient than trying to stealth your way through because you just fucking blast your way through shit, get to the exit, and then like on you go.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but the difference is that game, like, it gives you the options, and the reward for doing that is either getting like different types of money out of it, or
more money.
Even if you do take the easier option, the easier option being the going guns blazing, like there's still a challenge there of having to deal with the cops, and
the getaway car doesn't show up immediately.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, it takes time, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in the Blackout Club, you kick a door down, grab the thing, and then just leave. Like, the mission's over in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, oh, I got to go find the lockpick and lockpick to open the door, or climb through a window on the second story. Like, you can do it like that, or just kick the door in and then just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just there's no reason to do any of this stuff. And then once you kind of figure out that, like, you can sort of get caught by these creatures and really not have any ramifications about that happening, just kind of run away. It's, like, after the first mission, it just turned from a survival horror game into a fetch quest game that wasn't even scary anymore.
Yep.
It's just, I think the execution of it is not great from what we played.
Yeah. That first one that we played together was fucking funny as fuck, though. Like, I had a lot of fun. That was goofy. Like, it was just fucking wild. We were fucking up all over the place. And then, once we worked out that it didn't have to be like that. Yeah.
Everything we were doing didn't really matter, so we could just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we've got to stealth through all these things and watch out for the drones, the security drones, and the cameras everywhere. And eventually it's just like, nah, fuck it, let's just run through. Like, we could just run through because it didn't really matter anymore. Like, it's got an interesting idea and a premise, and it's sort of co-op based co-op based story that's trying to tell.
Yeah.
As you progress through, but it's still like, there just doesn't seem to be any reason to do it. Like,
the challenge doesn't
compare
exist.
that to the forest.
Yeah.
And, like, the story, like, that thing is trying to tell, like, it's just not even on it.
You know what? The forest is a really fucking good comparison, because it's about stakes. You know, like, the stakes in the forests are high.
Like leg steaks.
Steaks and legs, yeah. Like, so you can eat. The stakes are high in the forest. You know, you feel like, you know, if you were to die, you'll drop all your shit. You've, like, worked pretty hard to get it. You'll respawn somewhere nowhere near where you are at the moment. All that kind of stuff. It's going to be a real setback. Whereas if you die in the Blackout Club, you don't really lose anything. You become a tool for the entity that is very easy to, like, fucking get back. Like, you get captured by the entity. It's not called the entity. That's the Dead by Daylight thing, isn't it? But yeah, you get caught by the fucking monster, and you are a tool for the monster, and then someone can get you back pretty easily, and then away you go, right? Like, it doesn't. Yeah, there's no stakes for failure. Whereas in the forest, there are huge stakes. Yeah, it's a good comparison.
Yeah. Anyway, it didn't click with me. Blackout Club did not click with me at all.
Yeah.
We played a couple of missions, and, like, two of them were pretty similar to each other. Like, grab the research or grab the evidence, and then leave.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like it's trying to tell this overall story. At least that's what I feel like it's trying to do. But I didn't get the sense of a story.
No.
Yeah.
Shut up, cat.
So it was weird.
Anyway. All right.
I don't know if we're jumping back into that at some stage, or, like, what the vibe is, but
yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see what it's like with a human monster, but I don't care that much to get to it. So
yeah.
Anyway, all right, Underlords.
Played a lot on Underlords.
Played a lot of Underlords.
I installed it on my phone.
Yes, you did.
That's where I've been playing it.
We went to we've been in LA. We went to LA. We talked about the flights. I was playing Underlords on the flights once I got sick of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the bad camera games, and once I finished all of the boys, I started playing Underlords on my phone, and that's a killer way to kill a bunch of fucking time. That is a fantastic way to kill some time. But we played even more. We were staying at the glorious Airport Marriott's in the middle of...
The 5-star.
In the middle of absolutely nowhere in LAX.
It was near In-N-Out Burger.
It was near
and 6 Starbucks.
Yes, there was a Starbucks in the hotel itself, and there was at least another, 16 Starbucks within a 2-block radius.
We went to a shopping center, and there was literally 3 Starbucks that we could see.
There were two Starbucks out on the road, and then we went into the shops, and there was a Starbucks in the shop itself, like in the
like 50 meters from each other.
Yeah, and you could literally step out of the shop, and there was another Starbucks. Like, amazing. Anyway, so we went to the shops to go get some stuff, to go get some lunch. We landed at 6 in the morning and didn't get to the hotel until about, what was it, like 9-ish? Yeah, about 9-ish.
Was it?
Yeah,
probably
8:30-ish.
Yeah.
We had to wait for my bags, remember? So I don't have fancy fucking fast bag. Yeah, exactly. So we got to the hotel, checked in immediately, which was pretty cool. I got a good room. We got fucked. Apparently, fucking platinum status doesn't carry to the fucking hotels. So suck shit. And kill time until 11. Went for a walk. Suddenly, I don't know, it was like 35 degrees, and it was only about an hour away to get to the very close In-N-Out Burger. So that was a good way to kill a bunch of time. We walked past the In-N-Out Burger and to the shops to buy some bottles of water, because in my room I didn't want to drink out of taps, because our old mate Ben McKelvey, he stayed at that hotel when that lady died in the fucking water tower on top of it.
Yeah.
And he has always talked about how he's convinced he drank dead body water. So I can't do it anymore. I don't drink out of the taps in hotels. Not in America, anyway. Anyway, so yeah, I went to buy some bottles of water. The bottle of water that they were selling in my room was $5. We got 6 bottles of the same size for, what was it, like $2.50 or something? Yeah.
$7 or something.
Yeah. We got 6 bottles each. We got some fucking snacky snacks. Got way too many fucking corn chips. Some like half a liter of fucking guacamole for some reason. Half a liter of fucking tomato salsa. That I think was like 50% water. And 4 liters of mixer of Coke. And then went and got our In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger. I love In-N-Out Burger. As always, it's about price to quality. It is McDonald's prices, but much higher quality, much better burger. So got a good burger, got my animal fries, sat there, made Luke go and order, because I snagged the table and then Luke went and ordered. Realized afterwards, because Luke doesn't know what the secret menu entails at In-N-Out Burger, I should have like, if our roles had been switched, if you had known all of the fucking details about how to order a fucking In-N-Out Burger, and I had been the one going to order, you would have been all like, oh yeah, get me some manimal fries and an elephant burger. And so I would be like, what? And then you'd be like, yeah, it's on the secret menu, just go and fucking order it. And then I'd be like, okay. And I'd get to the counter. I'd be like, yeah, I'd like some manimal fries and an elephant burger. And they'd look at me like I was a fucking moron. What I should have done is said exactly that. I should have given you some fucking whack shit to order to really fuck with you. But I don't know. I don't prank.
Not that quick.
I don't prank, you know? Like, yeah, there was definitely some of that, like, on the fucking ride home. I realized what I should have said. You know, the jerk's still cold and they're all out of you. That's what I should have done. But anyway, had a burger. Only about 50 minutes walk home from there. Stopped at a liquor store real close to the hotel, and that's when I realised that Luke had gotten the corn chips in his bag, the corn chips and the M&Ms in his plastic carry bag, and he'd saddled me up with half a litre of fucking guacamole and 4 litres of fucking Coke to carry all the way fucking back for fucking an hour, and I'm fucking walking here like my arms literally getting longer as like just from the fucking weight. I'm like, why? Why is this so heavy? Because I had figured that not like, being not a fuckhead, Luke had put one bottle of Coke in one bag and one in the other. It's a bit of weight distribution.
I didn't pack it.
Nah, nothing like that.
Someone pack it at the
not from old Lico. Nah, he's giving me the old fucking everything fucking bag, and he's carrying nothing. He's carried he gives me the bag, and it weighs nothing, right? Like, I nearly fucking threw the thing when I took it off him. It's fucking, whoa, what's going on here? I'm fucking working out, fucking absolutely.
To be fair, you're the one that made us walk fucking 2 hours to go get lunch.
What did you have going on? What else were you going to do?
Let's go to watch some sports.
Sports. Yeah, nothing but baseball and NFL, my friend. Good luck.
Pretty bad.
Anyway, so
we get back to the hotel at midday?
Bit after midday, like closer to 1 because of all the walking.
Right.
Yeah. I had sunburn. I was sunburned, probably because I spent 2 hours in the sun. But whatever. Yeah. Get back to the hotel. We got some time to kill. So we...
Because it's a free day, basically.
It's a free day, yeah. And, yeah, just want to stay awake until 10 p.m. That's the rule. Got the booze into my room and just started playing fucking Underlords. We just fucking churned out a shit ton of Underlords. And we watched some movies. What did we watch? We watched...
Ragnarok?
Thor Ragnarok, Jane Silent Bob, and Basketball. Yeah, good stuff. While playing Underlords, it was a good combo of movies. But the Underlords, man, holy shit! I have never. I'm chalking it up to jet lag.
You know what I'm chalking up to?
What?
It's harder to play to mobile.
It's definitely harder to play on mobile. I've definitely noticed there is a significant input lag. There are occasions where it just won't do what I've told it to do. I'll tell it to buy something and I'll need to tap it a couple of times. I have to be really careful when it doesn't want to re-roll in those instances, because I definitely double tapped and it's double inputted and then re-rolled past. You get that fucking 3 frames and you can see the one piece that you need to finally get your 2-star Tide Hunter or whatever the fuck. You're like, no, don't leave me, and away it goes. Yeah, anyway, this was pre the latest patch, and yeah, we were just it's just good fun playing with someone else in the same room or even on Discord, being able to chat to someone. Because you can commiserate being shit together, which we were doing a lot of.
Yep.
Because we were losing a lot. I was at the point where I was like, if I come 8th again, I'm uninstalling this fucking game.
We were doing really bad.
I got 8 twice in a row. I think it was fucking awful. I lost 2 levels in fucking the space of 1 hour.
By the time we'd finished our entire session, I must have lost 3 or 4 levels.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
We were just fucking woeful. It was not good. It was not a good look for us. But yeah, anyway. It was good fun though. That's the thing, right? It didn't matter that we were losing. Because yeah, I mean, we were also drinking, which helped. And yeah, we were drinking Jim Beam because I wanted, I said this on Discord, but I wanted 3 monkeys. And Luke wanted Jack Daniels. And so, yeah.
It's 3 monkeys.
It's that blended whiskey.
Right.
That I pointed out at the first shot. Yeah, clearly. And you wanted Jack Daniels, and
So we went with Jim Beam.
yeah, that's something neither of us wanted. So that's good. A happy compromise is one where nobody's happy. Yeah. And yeah, so we hammered all of that. Not all of it. There's a tiny bit left. I brought it home with me because you declined to take it with you back to your room because you hate it that much. But next time you come over, I'm going to make you drink it. So,
cool.
Did you just get cat attacked?
What?
Was that cat on your lap the whole time, or did it just run up?
No, she was there.
Okay.
She's leaving.
Right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Underlords, even though we were losing a lot. Mostly just, yeah. Like, I think when you're playing with other people who are in earshot, you can trash talk.
Yeah,
right?
and you can also talk about strategies and like just getting fucking pummeled by some random dude.
Swear at Luke for stealing all my fucking primordials.
Yeah, that's like it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we both lost so many levels.
Yeah.
We were just getting stomped, and I definitely feel like it's harder to play because, like on PC, you can really switch between like characters quickly, like move things around on your board. You can look at what the other players are doing.
Oh, the amount of times I will
picking.
drag and drop and accidentally put a
like swap a person.
Yeah, swap something or put someone in the wrong spot, or it happens way too often on mobile. They need to do something about that pretty hard. Yeah,
at least on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got back and I've played a couple of games since then, and I'm back up to just about where I was when I started the other day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my god, like I won like 2 of my first games. It was just like back up straight. Like I'm in casual league, just stomping people. Like, all right, here we go, cool.
Playing in it's the hyperbolic time chamber. To squeeze another Dragon Ball Z reference into this podcast. So the new update is out. The head-to-head update is out, and I played one game of it. I didn't come last, which is nice, but I came second last. It shouldn't have gone down the way it did. I was on the cusp of my big turnaround, but there's a real ramp up of how much fucking damage you take in this one. You start off and you don't take any damage at all for a real long time. Like you take fuck all.
Like the first 10 rounds, I think.
Yeah, like you can get away with losing quite a bit in the first couple of rounds in that. And then you update. Now, the way it works is every person play like direct head-to-heads another player, and when it's uneven, someone fights a clone. Yeah, it's such a good change. I mean, I said it fucking yonks ago that it was something that they needed to do immediately, as soon as possible, and yeah, it's worked out really well. It's still no 1v1. I'd love to do a 1v1, but like it's okay, it's fine. Yeah, you don't take a lot of damage early on now, but by the time you get past like wave 20, you take a fucking ton. I lost from 21 health to 0. I lost exactly 21 health, which hurts even more. But there's it's because what's happening is losers get free rerolls, which means there's a significant ramp up now. There's a significant ability to really churn through a lot of fucking units real quick, and it's fine early on when we're talking about going from 1-star to 2-star very quickly, and it changes the way you look at economy management a tiny bit. But once you get past probably level 15, we're not talking about like losers are cycling through and finding themselves the pieces they need to get fucking 3 stars before fucking like wave 20, and suddenly they're just fucking huge. They just hit fucking hard, and if you don't have those 3-star pieces, if you happen to have, like, I lost until I think like round 7 in the game I played, and then I won. I won my AIs. I won everything until I think it was like not everything. I was like, actually, that's the worst thing is that I wasn't winning past the three win streak. I wasn't like I'd win three games and then lose, and three games and lose, and so I wasn't getting like my economy wasn't fucking wild, wasn't out of control good, but like I had a lot of money. I was doing okay in my net worth. I think I was like third in net worth, something like that. But yeah, and I was winning AIs, but I just they had a bunch of 3-stars and I only had 2-stars. I think I had tiny 3-star by that last round I had. And he's not really a heavy hitter. He's sort of a CC'er and a tank. And yeah, I just couldn't put enough fucking hurt on these 3-stars to actually get them off the fucking board. So I wiped out the rest of it. Well, not everything, but like a lot of the rest of what they had. But yeah, these 3-stars, they fucking hurt. 3-stars, they've really ramped up the amount of damage 3-stars do in Underlords. They are significant. Like getting a 3-star is a huge fucking boon now over getting 2-stars. What they're trying to do is incentivize people to go for the 3-star as opposed to staying with multiple 2-stars, which is a very common tactic. Yeah, very common tactic in order chess. They're trying to disincentivize people from doing that, and it works. They hit harder. They last longer, and yeah, when they actually do physical damage to your player character, yeah, they fucking wallop. And so yeah, I just got fucking wankered, which hurt. Because yeah, if it had just been 20 damage, if I'd had 1 health left, I reckon I could have fucking turned that shit around. I was right there. I just turned my Razor into a level 3. I needed 1 more Slark to go level 3 Slark, and I had the fucking 80 plus 80 attack speed. Daedalus, is it? No, Moonshard. I had the Moonshard on the fucking level 2 Stark and ready to go level 3. That thing was just gonna fucking rip shit up. But yeah, and I was like, I still had a fuck ton of economy as well. I hadn't spent all my money. I just didn't think that I could take 21 fucking damage in 1 round. So yeah, that was a rough way to go out, but whatever. I really like the update. I really like it. I think it's a really fucking top-notch change.
Yeah, that free reroll thing is interesting. Like it's the comeback mechanic of that they ditched a couple of weeks back, where like losing streaks, they kind of nerfed that, but instead now they've got the free reroll, which is basically 10 heroes. Like if you lose, you could cycle 10 heroes.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah,
I wonder if they change it again and maybe just make it 1 gold instead of free. That might be like a cheap, like a discount, because free seems like a lot.
You could make it 1 gold, and then with that global that makes rerolls 1 gold cheaper, it'd be free. That'd be good.
A free reroll. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's probably a good thing. I do think it's quite powerful at the moment.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I just played a game before we started recording. I just wanted to jump in and check it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like a big surprise, being like, oh, okay, I basically can cycle 10 heroes here.
Yeah.
Like I get, like, oh, there's nothing on my board that I can choose. I'm gonna not spend any money. Oh, but actually I get a free reroll, so I can just free reroll and then be like, oh, okay, here's 2 more characters. Like, I just got 2 level 2s. Cool.
Yeah.
It seems really strong.
There's a significant amount of ramp of power. Yeah.
So I think I think 1 gold would be good, and then up it to 2 for the next one. Just to have a little bit of incentive, because at the moment it's literally just a free roll, and you may as well do it. Like, you could literally lose a round, get like 3 heroes in that you need in that first roll, and then free reroll, and then go again. Like, you were picking up so many characters so quickly. It just seems like it's too much at the moment. So yeah, I think they'll probably change that at some stage, or at least balance it a little bit more. Maybe they'll just completely remove it. Who knows? But yeah, there's some good stuff in there, like new weapons and like immediately grabbed one of them, which was a helm that
Yeah,
allowed your
fucking
hero
Drew
to
had
stay
fucking
alive
two
for
of
4
them.
seconds.
They were disgusting.
It's
He had
stupid.
two of them at fucking, I think it was like fucking wave fucking 8 or some shit. It was
Yeah.
goofy. No, it must
I had
be
two of them
wave
as well.
11, wave 11. Holy fuck, man. They were out of control. Like, just when you think he's fucked.
Yeah.
Whoa,
You know
I'm
what I
still
would do? I stuck one on my Slark at the start of the game, and I stuck the other one on my tank, and then the tank just stands there. My tank dies, but they're still hitting him because he's alive for another 4 seconds. So, all right, 3 hits. So there you go.
They should.
Yeah.
Once they die, they shouldn't draw aggro. They should still be able to do damage. They shouldn't draw aggro, I think. The other one, the one I had was the knife that has a 20% chance of gold.
When you kill someone.
Yeah, I put that in my. I was going for Brawny because they
That
changed.
seems interesting.
Globals.
That seems good.
They changed a lot of the globals. Yeah, and so now the Brawny global. They changed a lot of the alliances, and now the Brawny alliance is like what the Brawny global used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I was going for as many Brawnies as I could, and I was just beefing up this fucking Juggernaut. And I put the fucking knife on him, and he was just, I think he was at like fucking 23 kills by like wave 10 or something. He was just fucking chunky as fuck. And then he was also like the last one alive when anyone else is like, everyone else is on like a bee's dick. So he just like started going in, chopping, and, like building his health up even further, and I was getting a bit of extra gold and stuff. It was pretty fucking good. Yeah. That's I like a lot of what they've done there. They've made it so Primordials had Primordials and Brawnies. And the Primordials now spawn Eidolons as their default alliance buff. They're pretty good. If you can get 4 of them on deck, you can really start to like put out some extra hurt for no reason. I won a couple of fucking rounds just because my Eidolon stayed on. I don't think I did any damage. I don't think Eidolons do any damage. But yeah, they were still good. Yeah. Damage to player character, I mean. Yeah. Good stuff. What's up?
Right. Nothing. I was just trying to figure, like, what was the Brawny change?
Brawny is now like the global. Every kill they get plus 30 or plus 60 depending on.
So yeah, but did they remove the global?
Yeah, they must. I didn't see the global. Yeah. They changed a lot of assassins in addition to the existing bonus level 3. They now get pocket sand basically. Although like by the time you've got fucking 9, who gives a fuck? What's the other one where by the time you've got 9, what the fuck is the point? Elusive. What the fuck? All units gain 70 plus 75%. Well, okay, so what? One alternative character is going to get plus 75% evasion. Is there anyone that I can think of that would dramatically benefit from that? I suppose Slark. Slark would be goofy, but you'd also have 9 other fucking elusives. So yeah, you'd basically be building to make the ultimate Slark. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, good changes. Interesting changes.
Yeah.
To keep it fresh.
Yeah.
It's good.
It is good. And yeah, the head-to-head stuff. Poaching knife, that's the one I had. The equipped hero has a 30% chance of producing 1 gold when they kill an enemy. There we go. And attacks against units with less than 20% health, crit for 200% damage. So yeah, Juggernaut was literally just spinning through like cunts and murdering all of them. It was sick. That's why I was convinced that it was going to change, because I was going to, if I could survive one more wave, I was going to be able to get Disruptor, and I wanted to see if it would automatically double the amount of health my Jug had, because I still had an Axe, and I still had a Beastmaster who wasn't doing a lot, but this Jug was so fucking buffed that it didn't fucking matter. And I just wanted to put the Disruptor on to see what it would do to see how much more health he would have. Because he might have been the fucking all the difference, but just short of it, so close.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, some good stuff there. What was I going to say? They made some changes to the way the ranking system works.
Yeah.
Like people were partying up and sort of just power leveling, I guess.
Right.
So yeah.
Not us.
Some good...
Power de-leveling.
Yeah, or power de-leveling is, I guess, the way you could do it as well. So they now show you rank points, so you can get an idea of whether or not you're about to rank up or rank down.
Yep. And
the other change that I saw, which I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, is... Where was it? Oh, sorry. What I was going to say was the head-to-head stuff. I think that the way it's sort of being portrayed at the moment could be better.
How do you mean?
I don't like that it's got the game sort of starts off with a round and it's like, oh, here's the actual ranking of each player,
right.
Like first to last, like first to eighth.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it moves everybody and like it's just like it's always constantly changing. There's got to be a better way to portray that information. Like
right.
Because as soon as that round starts, you don't have an idea of who's
maybe
like
some sort of like
grasp of who's
head-to-head board
last.
or whatever.
Yeah, like you're playing somebody, but it's like, oh, you've got to then look at their number and be like, all right, where are they? Like, are they actually first or are they coming like seventh? Like, who the fuck am I playing right now?
Yeah.
All you're really looking at is a number.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a really good indication of like who you're up against. Really, it can be hard to tell.
True.
Yeah, I think that could be displayed better or something. I don't know, but
yeah, fair enough.
that was just the thing I noticed when I was playing that quick 20-minute game. Anyway, cool. Still digging it. I'm definitely trash on mobile, but I'm a lot better on PC.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Should we move on? What we got? Call of Duty. All right, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You and I had a chance to go over and check out the multiplayer reveal for this.
Yes.
The only two, I guess, media in Australia that had a chance to go over.
Yep.
They know. I think it's pretty safe to...
They sent the gap over. They're like, who's capable of previewing Call of Duty multiplayer? Who amongst all of Australia can actually put this one together? And they're like, there's a podcast. It is wildly unpopular, but they are the fucking best. They are absolute fucking dickheads, but they are the greatest multiplayer players out of all of the press.
So sweaty.
In Australia and possibly, no, definitely the world. And
probably the world.
Yeah, and that's they sent us an email saying exactly that. We told them it was a bit harsh to call us dickheads, but eventually we got, we came to an arrangement. They would put us up in the airport.
You put us up in the hotel at the airport?
Find the worst airport hotel you can and put us up. And we're there. And yeah, that's it. We away we go.
That's all it takes.
Yep, that's all it takes.
People call us corrupt all the time. It's taking all that money.
It's tough. It's tough taking all that money in the form of hotels next to an airport. But someone's got to. It's out there for the taking. Who else? It might as well be us. Yeah. Anyway, multiplayer reveal event. Yeah, we were the only two Australian press on deck. There were about, I want to say, like 100.
Yeah, probably about 100.
Yeah.
Plus.
100 plus people, like other press.
Maybe more.
Yeah. I want to go for about 100. That would be my guess based on the amount of people sitting in the presentation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Probably about 100, 150, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was they weren't ready for us even a little bit. But it kicked off with a presentation. Kicked off with actually a lot of standing in the sun. I think they felt I hadn't gotten enough of a sunburn the day before.
The day before.
Yeah.
They heard about a long journey to get there.
Yeah, and the long journey to In and Out Burger. Like, these dudes need a bit more sun. No, it started off with a presentation. It was a good presentation, actually. I really like the trailer. It's got Enter Sandman. It's a good rendition. I have one thing that I would change, but I have to do it in Adobe Premiere, and I'll do it myself. It was just driving me nuts that they didn't do it, because they showed it to us twice in the space. Like, they showed it at the start of the presentation and again at the end. And the first time I watched it, I'm like, would it be better? And then the second time I watched it, I'm like, it'd so be better if they did it this way anyway.
But also, when they did show us that second time, I looked at you and was like, is this the same trailer? But I appreciated it the second time, because the first time, the audio guy blew out the fucking speaker on it or something. And it was really distorted.
Yeah.
And it was driving me nuts. And then the second time, it sounded fucking sick. It sounded so good. I was like,
good,
all right,
yeah,
this is good.
Yeah. It's mostly just showcasing the multiplayer. Yeah, it's got Enter Sandman playing. And yeah, it's a good... The presentation itself, they were sort of taking us through their mentality behind, getting to the place where they're currently at with Modern Warfare, getting to a state where Modern Warfare feels like a Call of Duty game, but is so much more than just a Call of Duty game, and all that kind of stuff. They went on and on about making the guns feel right, which I didn't think was really multiplayer presentation factor, to be honest. I didn't really feel like something you would... It's a multiplayer reveal event, like that's not what I would be talking about, right? Like, it's very important in a Call of Duty game that the guns feel correct, but that's a single player reveal type thing to me. But it didn't matter. It was still, it was interesting, right? Like, I was interested, and I thought it was a good chat. It just, I was itching to go fucking play it, and if I could go back in time, I would very much prefer to have the extra 15 minutes to play more of the fucking game than to listen to them how they went and did a boot camp to get the fucking guns right or whatever the fuck, right? Like,
yeah, I think what they were trying to drive at, though, is the whole notion of moving from a hit scan game to having like physical bullets, which is something they put in the last game.
Yeah.
But this is obviously on that new engine, and then also adding the bullet penetration stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they were kind of trying to get to with it. But maybe they just talked about it a bit too much.
Yeah, they did too much establishing of the concept without... when they could have just fucking said it.
Sure. I think the thing was that, to me, it felt like we were watching an online stream.
Yeah.
Like, we were the practice run for the online stream. I've not watched the online stream that happened this morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we were like a warm-up round.
Right.
Because remember when we did Borderlands a couple months, 2 months back, and they did something similar where media sat in that hall and they basically ran through the presentation, which was the stream presentation, the actual global reveal. We were kind of the test audience. This felt like the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wasn't a fan of it. I also wasn't a fan of... I was sitting on like half a fucking chair. Just the chick next to me, right? I don't know what she was doing, but she was definitely taking up more than her chair, and she didn't need to be. So I couldn't understand. Maybe she just didn't really like the dude on her right, but we were basically sitting on top of one another, and then I was sitting on top of you, and then I think everyone from your left seemed fine. So I was like the meat in a sandwich that I didn't want to be a part of, essentially.
While Metallica was playing.
Yeah. It was, it was weirdly erotic. And then, they finally let us go fucking play the game, which was good. Like, yeah, we went straight for the fucking PC section. There was a PS4 section for a bunch of people who were absolutely setting themselves up to fucking lose. Because Call of Duty Modern Warfare has inbuilt fucking crossplay. It's been built from the ground up. They directly said to us, they said they knew before they even started they were building this game to have crossplay. So everything's been built with crossplay in mind.
Yeah, which is weird because they actually said in our interview they'd been working on crossplay for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And crossplay is only something that's sort of coming to the fruition like the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Like this year, it's kind of been the big one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like they were pretty adamant of having it in there.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if it was
they basically
maybe
said they had crossplay working in development like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wondered if they maybe had like next generation plans type thing. They were starting on getting it working for next generation or something.
And the dude said like, yeah, it was easy to switch on.
Yeah, way easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, like what's remember when accidentally Fortnite switched it on? Like they were basically saying the same thing. Like, yeah, it was super easy to do.
Yeah,
and we've had it running for like two or 3 years now.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge deal. But yeah, the fact that it's been built from the ground up with crossplay in mind is a huge deal as well. And yeah, the idea that we were playing in the same room as a bunch of people who were actively desiring controllers to play a first-person shooter against some extremely sweaty idiots. They had no idea. Like, that was the other thing, right? I don't think it was I very much appreciate my time spent with the game. I had a great time. And I think the event was good. And
sure,
I don't want them to think I'm not grateful for the opportunity to play, but I do not think it was run very well from a fucking scheduling perspective, nor was it run very well from a fucking just like the standpoint of putting a bunch of people who may have never seen a fucking Call of Duty game in their life up against 3 dudes who have clearly played literally every Call of Duty game ever. Even the really bad ones. Yeah. Like, it just didn't... They literally set the 6 people across the table from us up to get fucked. And we fucked the shit out of them.
It was disgusting.
It was gross. It was honest to God gross. There was one game where I had 23 kills. Muzel, we were playing. Elliot was our third Aussie. Muzel had 23 kills. You had fucking 19 kills, and the highest kills in the team was, I think it was like fucking 9. Yeah. And they had fucking 14 deaths. And everyone else on their team had fucking 14 plus deaths. And it's just like, what is going on?
It was terrible.
Holy shit. Like, we could not kill them fast enough. Like, you could not, like, Elliot's there trying to fucking record some footage of some kill streaks, but he couldn't slow us down. Right, we're trying to fucking record some stuff as well. The Spanish dudes are on our fucking day.
Maybe trying to screw with him.
Well, yeah, we may have been trying to fuck him as well. But, like, we had to do something to keep ourselves entertained because, Jesus Christ, it was, like, automatic. Like, I definitely caught a couple of people who were just, like, looking up in the sky. And I, like, you'd, like, murder them and you're like... What were they doing? I don't even know. Like, you're killing them so fast, you don't even have time to work out if they weren't a threat in the sense that nobody on that team was a fucking threat. They were just a threat in the sense that technically you're supposed to kill those people. Like, there's some existential shit in there, right? Like, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of, like, what have I done? Oh, the blood on these hands. But, like, fuck, man. we killed some Bambinos. Like that was just straight up Bambino slaughtering. Like that's me playing fucking Clunker, Crunker.io and working out that I'm up against fucking school children. Like, because I exclusively play it at 3 o'clock, and the only games that work on a browser are Crunker. They're all trying to play fucking Fortnite, but they can't get Fortnite to work in a browser, so they play Crunker instead. I'm just like fucking woohoo, hot bunny hopping around murdering children. That's what was happening. Essentially, we were killing children, and yeah, it was ridiculous. Ridiculous. So yeah, I don't think it was well set up from that perspective. But I don't know that they could have like I don't imagine that they would have asked, "How sweaty are you at Call of Duty?" Like,
Yeah, like a ranking system.
yeah, could we like? That's what they could have done. They could have done that while we were lining up to sign our fucking NDAs. Instead of making me take a fucking photo of myself for reasons I'll never understand, they could have said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good do you think you are at Call of Duty? I could have whacked a fucking 8 on that bitch, and then fucking they could have like sorted everyone who said they were 8. Come this way, you can be on this fucking table and have some sort of semblance of fucking balance in your fucking game. And everyone who said 1. We won't put you on the same table as fucking Luke and Joab, right? Like, maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. It's what I'd do. It's not the first time I've been in a fucking preview session where I've been running around, like when Fry learns about video games on the internet in Futurama. And he's like just immediately fucking a murder god at it, and he's like, being a fucking dickhead, right? It's not the first time I've played preview sessions where I've explicitly been better than essentially everyone else there, but it did seem it was probably the largest gulf, the largest difference I've seen. Usually, especially at the review events, they get people who I think are relatively competent at shooters, because the publications will send their shooter guy to play Call of Duty, and so I will still murder the fuck out of them. And I have I literally have videos from the Titanfall 2 review event a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I have a video of me doing nothing but kill Polygon, and it's from one round, and it's 15 kills. Or I've got like one where I did nothing but kill Survivor, but I think it was Ben Salter, and that was from the course of the entire week, 2-day session, and it was just me directly attempting to troll Ben Salter. From a Battlefield event, I've got like footage of me like literally running around behind GameSpot and then stabbing them in the back, and then running up and stabbing IGN in the back, just to fucking flex on them, right? Like, I've got a lot of video of me being a lot better at shooters than journalists. Not most people, but like journalists, game journalists. So yeah, it's not new, but like this was something different, man. This was.
You know why?
What?
Because this is the first time you've had me on a trip.
That's what it is, right? Like
It was disgusting.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, usually I have to go alone. I'm like, yeah, fucking whoop whoop whoop, and now, yeah, we fucking Wonder Twins shit, like fucking tee that shit up and fucking.
Yeah. And then we also had Elliot.
Yeah.
We also had Muzok.
Yeah.
Who is, that's his thing. He does shooters as well.
Yeah.
And so it was just 3 Australians just fucking stomping everybody. Literally, you and I, whenever we played a game together, we didn't lose a round.
We did
the entire day.
Lose a single round the entire fucking day.
We played, I think there was one match I didn't play with you because I got put in the wrong server.
Some reason, yes.
And I was like trying to get in there, but eventually, like every round that I played, I did not lose.
Yeah.
Our team did not lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was one game we played. The other team didn't get a point. We got like 200 points, and they didn't get one single point.
Yeah. Yeah. It was out of control, man. Like
at one point, I think the third map we played, they were swapping people out of the other team to put developers in
They
to try and play
literally went and got developers to come play to try to even shit up.
Yeah, and the game felt harder. I was like, oh, they got someone in on the other
People are
team.
getting kills. Wait a second. Wait a second. Did I just die? Actually, speaking of, right, I found myself dying because for the same reason that I often used to die in Quake, right? Heath, long-term listeners will remember Heath, goofball, had this fucking goofy thing he would do when we were playing Quake Duels. Because we'd have LAN parties and we'd have our Quake Duels. And I know I've told this story a billion times, but I'm going to tell it again for our new listeners. He would do this goofy thing where we'd all be playing at fucking 100, right? It'd be like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. The Instagib tournament was like at the zenith of its fucking, it was at its peak. It was like, we were down to the fucking wire, right? And I was like fucking gunning for these pricks. I was like fucking slamming cunts all over the fucking place. Insta-skip here, bang, bang, dead. And then Heath would like jump in and he'd start like crouch walking places. And because I'm snap railing the whole time, right? I don't account for someone to fucking start crouching. I'm snapping on where they're supposed to be, not fucking where they are, right? Like, and so then all of them would stop, like, they'd stop playing good Quake and they'd start playing bad Quake. And because I'm not like the real legends, right? You talk to any Street Fighter pro, right? And the real legends of Street Fighter, right, they'll beat Button Masher, right? Like, a Button Mash is never going to take a game off Daigo, right? But a Button Masher can take a game off someone who's very good. That's the difference between a fucking grandmaster and someone who is real fucking good at a fighting game, is that they're like, a grandmaster is reacting to what's happening on the screen, and so button mashing isn't going to affect them, whereas a real good player is doing what they know they should be doing.
Unexpected shit.
And so unexpected shit throws them way the fuck off. Yeah. And so you just don't. It's a whole spanner in the works, right? Like, okay. Well, why did they start doing that? And so like, I kept dying to people who would be like running in areas with no point. Like, they'd just be fucking running around a truck or something, and I'm like,
why are you here?
I'd watch the kill cam, and they're literally running around this truck, jumping into the side of it or some shit. And like, they'd look one way and look another way, and I'd like fucking sprint on past them, and somehow they'd see me and shoot me in the back. And I'm like, why do you exist? That doesn't make any sense. Like, that's not how that's supposed to happen. And the other thing is, when you're dominating too much, the game starts to like loses its ability to define good spawn points. The way spawn points work in Call of Duty is generally it'll put you away from try to put you as far away from the closest enemy player as possible. Generally, that's how it works. Depending on the objective mode. If it's an objective mode, if it's like domination, it'll put you closest to the objective, the point that your team controls, right? But otherwise, it'll put you away. It'll try to put you away from the nearest enemy player. It falls to bits a little bit in free-for-all team deathmatch. That's where you'll notice bad respawns the most. But a lot of the other Call of Duty games in recent history have had a real problem with not putting players far enough away. They don't have like a large enough blacklist area for players to spawn in, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop the old school, like, remember, to go back to Quake again,
spawn capping.
Quake had fixed spawn points, so you could literally, if you were fast enough at bunny jumping and you knew the way well enough, you could literally jump from spawn point to spawn point to kill them.
Or like throw a rocket down a hallway because you knew they were going to come around that corner any second.
Exactly, because they had to have spawned there. Essentially, yeah. They're trying to eliminate that kind of stuff, but the problem is that what happens is players will often spawn behind you in areas that you have already cleared, which is an unsatisfying way to die. Modern Warfare 2019 doesn't have that problem so much. I didn't find it very much. The only time it does have that problem is when you control all of the map way too much. And we were doing that because we were that much fucking better than the other team. And so they would spawn and I would die to someone who would just spawn behind me. I don't blame Modern Warfare for that. Like, literally, they had to spawn somewhere, right? Like, they have to, right? But it was devastating to our ability to earn kill streaks. And we were all going for the fucking 10 plus kill streaks. And I only got it once. I only got the 10 one once. I never got the 12. Very annoyingly.
I've got a video of me using like the 12 one, but the victory screen is up while I'm like using the keypad, like using it. I'm like, ah! Because I think I had like 24 or 25 kills in like 2 deaths or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
Yeah. Like it was this weird situation where, yeah, they weren't good enough to act like players should act. I think it's a phenomenon in poker as well, like that when some poker noob comes in and throws off
like, why did you play that hand?
Yeah, they're like, that's dumb. Why would you do that?
But they win.
Blackjack as well. Yeah, they lose their fucking shit. Yeah, like it's just what can you do, right?
Yeah.
More even games, better balanced games in terms of matchmaking would have resulted in our ability to have more opportunities to actually earn those things.
Sure.
But it takes me back to, if we're talking about kill streaks, I hate them, and they shouldn't exist. They got to get rid of kill streaks. I think, like, there's still time. I know it's pretty late in the fucking day to start saying you've got to get rid of something that appears to be fundamental to the way the game plays. But they have to get rid of kill streaks and put in score streaks. And I've never felt more fucking certain of anything in my entire fucking life.
Yeah, I think the problem with the kill streaks is that it works fine with your team deathmatch style modes where the idea is to get kills.
Yeah.
But your objective-based modes like cyber attack or headquarters, what else was there that we played? Domination, stuff like that. You don't get rewarded for being an objective player.
No.
You're literally just getting rewards for getting kills.
You are specifically disincentivized to for playing the objective, especially in headquarters where you go to a point where you are like you die and can't respawn. If your team owns the headquarters, you are specifically disincentivized from playing the objective, and it is in your best interests that nobody on the map play the objective, because you don't want the other team to play the objective either, because then they go into no response and you can't farm kills fast enough. So you're in a tricky position where you don't want your team to get the objective, you don't want to get the objective yourself. That's terrible. That is terrible fucking design, in my opinion. You are setting yourself up to fail. It is fine in team deathmatch, but team deathmatch is the worst game mode in existence. So I don't think playing to this, it's fucking shit. It's terrible. There's no fucking rhyme or reason to it. You literally just fucking
shooting things. I like that. That's how I play my Call of Duty.
The reason objectives exist is to give players an excuse to fight over an objective, right? It is a hot spot of conflict. You need a hot spot of conflict. It's the way any narrative works. It's not just fucking video games. It's the way literally stories work, right? Like, you're not going to tell a story about some place where nothing's fucking happening, but you tell a story about fucking, the battle zone, right? The pockets of the map where nothing's fucking happening. It's dull. It's dull fucking organic multiplayer storytelling. But a domination mode, yeah, There's a fight at A. There's a fight at B. A fight at C. Why not go to one of those? You've got somewhere to go to find a fucking fight, right? Team deathmatch, you find the fight, I guess, wherever the fight exists, which just all it does is encourage camping. It encourages camping. Actually, a lot of Modern Warfare encourages camping, heavily encourages camping, or positional gameplay, as they call it. I think it's bad. It's like positional gameplay. I mean, I think positional gameplay is fucking bad, and playing towards it, I don't think is a good design move. I don't think it's a good design choice. I think kill streaks are essentially the fucking crux, the core elements that drives everything towards heavily incentivizing positional camping. Because I think without kill streaks, you alleviate. I wrote down, right? I took notes, motherfuckers. Kill streaks incentivize camping. Slow play incentivizes camping. I'm sure that would mean more to 2 days ago, Joab. Nog mode. Nog mode. What's nog mode? Oh, night vision mode. Night vision mode incentivizes camping. ADS reload incentivizes camping. Mount mechanic encourages and incentivizes camping. Yeah, like that's my list. That was my list from the fucking presentation. I wrote that in the presentation. I don't know what the fuck slow play means, but yeah, like all these things that they have added. That
slow play is the tactical stuff they've added.
Tactical stuff
like breaching. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. It has to be. Yeah, because if you play Call of Duty the way we were, which is 100 miles an hour direct into the fucking fight, right? Which is how I've always played Call of Duty, and it has largely been successful. And if you watch Call of Duty esports, it's largely successful. I'm not saying there's no camping, but it's controlled camping, right? You're controlling a position, right? And it's all objective-based gameplay, so it's always controlled on a fucking position, on an objective as it is. So, right, I don't have any problem with camping and objective. I've got zero problem with camping and objective. I always think that works. But kill streaks, that's what I'm saying, right? Kill streaks, I think, are the fucking core issue because they specifically disincentivize you from playing the objective. So if you aren't incentivized to play the objective, if you've got no reason to play the objective, right, then the camping that you're doing, right, is not objective-based camping. It's not related to the objective. It's literally just you attempting to farm kills, and you're doing that because you fight like 50-50 fights, right? Angel fights where you face off against another player. They're low reward, like high risk, low reward. You are significantly increasing the chances that you'll be killed and you'll lose your kill streak. Whereas a score streak, which incentivizes objective play, incentivizes shooting fucking UAVs down, which nobody fucking did in our play because they're not. It's literally just telling everyone where the fuck you are. Yeah, so did I, but we're old school, right? Nobody else is doing it, right? I didn't see anyone else fucking doing it. You get a couple of points, but you don't really help yourself towards any of your own goals. And you are actively alerting people to your presence, right? Right? Like, score streaks do a lot of things that directly incentivize players to actually play the objective and play for their team, whereas kill streaks specifically tell players that they are the only thing that matters in the game. They are the only thing that matters. Winning doesn't matter. Getting your kill streaks off matters. Whoever is top of the table matters. It's just it's not good, right? We're at a state now. I honestly think that we're in a position, we're in a world now where we have changed our minds about camping, right? It used to be that camping was the worst thing you could do, right? Flat out, right? Everyone seemed to be in agreement that like campers were shit and fuck campers essentially.
Yeah.
But
now you can hide in a bush in PUBG, and it's a strategy.
it is a strategy, right? That's positional play. That is playing for the fucking win, right? You cannot argue that winning, right? If you are playing to win, right, then there are moments
Rank tanking
where choosing not to fire is the fucking high IQ play, right? There is no question in my mind that at some point, right, we're reaching a stage where it is better for you to not fire than to fire, and it has been for the longest time counter to how we consider games. It's always been if you see someone, you should shoot someone, right? Like see anyone, shoot them. That's how fucking games work. But now we're thinking about our fucking shots. We're actually actively taking into consideration what that shot will do to our position and to our ability to continue to play, right? So, in a way, positional play, aka camping, right, has become acceptable in a way that it never has been before. But you're not playing to win in Call of Duty if you're camping. If you're camping the objective, yes, fine. But because you're not supposed to be playing the objective, then you're not camping the objective, which means that if you are camping in a Call of Duty, let's reword it. Let's reframe it. If you're on the objective and you're staying in one place, that's positional play. If you're away from the objective and you're trying to get kills because you are trying to build your kill streak and you're not helping your team win, that's camping. That's what it is, right? Camping on the objective, that's positional play. Camping anywhere else, that's fucking camping. And camping, in that sense, in the sense that you're not playing for the objective, that's still dog shit. I fucking hate it. It's the worst sort of behavior in any kind of game. It's counter to, like, why even bother playing a fucking team game if all you're doing is playing for yourself? You're literally, all you're trying to do is have some fucking cannon fodder next to you. That's fucked. It's garbage. Yeah,
I think removing the support play is not a great idea, because I know that in my loadouts in Black Ops 4 was like a assault rifle and a rocket launcher, because I'd use rocket launchers to shoot down air support, whether it's UAVs, helicopters, planes, that sort of stuff. And then you'd actually get rewarded for that. You'd get points, and then that'd go to your score streak.
Yeah.
And then you could do things like your like support abilities, like put down an ammo pack that gave people extra damage, but every time that I think it was every time they picked up ammo or every time they got a kill with it, you'd get like points as well. So like, even though you're not technically getting kills, you're still getting rewarded or getting points towards your score streak because you were helping them out. And so them removing that entire system is it's just weird to go back on it. Like it's very this reward system of getting kill streaks is very TDM based focus, just for a single player and not the team.
To hear them talk about the way that they wanted to get back to what Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was all about, right?
Sure.
And talk about how they were stuck, right? They were in a tricky position because what Call of Duty had become was quite divorced from what Call of Duty had been, right?
Yep.
It makes me feel like they think that kill streaks are fundamental to that Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare experience. And what I think they are misinterpreting about score streaks is that score streaks are a logical, incremental evolution of kill streaks. It takes the idea of kill streaks from Modern Warfare, and it builds on them in a way that makes them like significantly better, right? It incentivizes gameplay habits that are like categorically better for the overall health of the gameplay experience. Like, there is zero question in my mind that Call of Duty as a franchise is better off with score streaks than it is with kill streaks, because people yes, there's the elation, there's the fucking heart pounding success that is almost akin to the chicken dinner win, right? That you get when you finally reach your score streak, your kill streak, right? And dying at kill 9 or kill 11, right? Is heartbreaking in the same way that, a big loss is in any game. Like that nail-biting loss is always big. And so they have successfully contained that singular, I guess, concept, that feeling, right? They bottled the feeling of elation or regret that you feel when you succeed or fail at huge moments in a game, and they've put it into that one fucking specific thing, which is the kill streak. But the overall impact it has on so much more of the game is too grand, because the way it impacts the rest of how everyone plays. And you could still have hard to reach fucking score streaks. You could still even have subtle invisible kill streak type shit, right? Like, I reckon you could still have like a 20 kill get 20 kills without dying and you trigger a nuke, right? Like, that's still a monumental fucking achievement, and it should be. I don't see why it wouldn't be represented with something huge. But as long as everyone else has score streaks and they're building towards shit and they're building towards stopping you, and everyone's building towards whatever is best for the fucking team, they're building for the win as opposed to the individual fucking success, then yeah, right? If you can still get 20 kills out of that, you deserve a fucking nuke. If you can still get 20 kills while everyone's calling in fucking choppers and fucking cluster bombs and shit, like, fucking good on you. Like, fuck yeah, man. Like, hell yeah. But yeah, like, otherwise, it's not good. It's not good for Call of Duty. I'm definitely gonna write this up, and I really genuinely hope Infinity Ward see it. I don't think they will listen. I think there's zero chance that they listen. But I know I'm right. There's no argument for kill streaks that I think overwhelms the idea of incentivizing team play in a meaningful way, because I think team play is too critical to general game longevity. The only people who are going to, like, after the initial phase for Call of Duty, right? The initial fucking spring of action in Call of Duty where everyone fucking is having a fuck ton of fun with it, and they are absolutely going to have a fuck ton of fun with it. I think it's fucking awesome. And the scale of it is fucking huge. And I think that's, like, brilliant. I reckon they're going all out, right? Like, there's so many fucking modes. There's so much, so many fucking players.
They're no longer Call of Duty. They're like, all right, fuck it. We're going to be Battlefield.
Yeah.
We're going to be Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
And we're going to be Call of Duty.
And
Fortnite.
And I promise you,
PUBG.
Oh no, Battle Royale. No, there's no Battle Royale. What Battle Royale? Yeah. Yeah. And PUBG. That game, right, from a multiplayer perspective alone, not even counting the campaign that is apparently coming, is already definitely going to be worth the fucking money, because it is fucking, yeah, like you said, fucking 5 games in one. Yeah, people are going to have fucking fun with it, but they're going to bleed off real quick. Because once you realize that nobody's playing the fucking objective, once you realize that that everyone is playing as sweaty as fucking possible and they're all out for themselves, it gets tedious, right? It doesn't, because you have no reason. It's just going to be fucking camper's paradise. And I mean camper in the sense that I just redefined the term. There's not going to be situational and positional play. It's literally just going to be people fucking camping and pulling off dog shots, and yeah, that's what it's going to be. They're setting themselves up for the game to bleed out real quick, because people don't have any patience for that. It's too easy for them to go anywhere else now and get a genuine team experience, even with fucking randos. You get a meaningful team experience in one of a billion different games. It's nice that Call of Duty Modern Warfare will be Rainbow Six. It will be Battlefield. It will be Fortnite / PUBG.
PUBG.
More PUBG than Fortnite. And some Call of Duty in there as well. It's nice, but those games exist.
Rocket Arena.
You can go, and Rocket Arena. You can go get your fucking. You can go and get your fucking Battlefield experience, your Rainbow Six experience, your fucking PUBG experience. Like, it's too easy, right? Like, and you can get it in a way that is more satisfying because people are actually actively playing towards the fucking what the team needs, as opposed to their own selfish needs. Yeah,
sure.
They desperately need to change it, and I guarantee you they won't.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to some other stuff.
Sure.
Let's go back to the diving into other game modes. In particular, the cyber attack stuff seems like they've really heading towards this team-based sort of objective modes, like a Rainbow Six Siege type thing.
Was this Search and Destroy? Was that?
Yeah. So one team has a data center or a location you've got to get to. The other team has to go and plant an EMP device in those like locations.
That was both teams had a data center.
Yeah.
Like at the same time, it was single flag, capture the flag, essentially.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
And so with the way this one worked is it's a bit more tactical. Like it's supposed to be a slower paced game because each round, when a player dies, they go down, and then it's sort of like, all right, now it's 5 versus 4, or 6 versus 4, or 6 versus 3, and it's like this. It's not supposed to be like a fast-paced TDM type thing. You're really supposed to play it a bit slower. We didn't really have that experience, but I think that's the way that game will eventually turn out because they've added all those things we just talked about. The breaching of doors. So there are doors in the game. Traditionally, the way you get through a door is you just fucking run at it.
Yeah.
And the dude just kicks it in and off you go. Now they've got systems in there where you can slowly open a door and it'll sort of like a fraction of that door open, and then you can use that to peek inside or throw a grenade in there. Or like bust the door in and then have someone behind you be a sniper and shoot through it. Like they're adding options into being able to get through a door.
Yeah.
Sort of the same way that like Rainbow Six Siege, you can like put a breaching charge on this entry, or like take out a bit of it and then throw a grenade in there, or a flashbang.
Yeah.
Like in order to clear the room, as opposed to traditional Call of Duty where you can't really clear a room. You just kind of you could throw a grenade in.
There's no doors, right?
Yeah.
There just weren't doors. They just didn't have doors. There were door frames and empty spaces. And if you wanted to clear it, you'd chuck some fucking flashbangs in and then run in, hopefully after the flashbangs had gone off.
Yeah.
Clear it out that way. Like,
yeah. And then so there's an extra layer of strategy or an extra way to approach that situation. And then on top of that, the mounting system, which is heavily borrowed from like Battlefield, the way Battlefield works.
Quite similar.
So in Battlefield, you walk up to a piece of cover, whether it's a wall, a window, an object within the environment, and you can like snap to cover, and that allows you to peek. I don't like it in Battlefield, the way it's executed. I think it's crap. They eventually did fix it in a patch about 3 months ago, where you can now actually lean in Battlefield. Like there's a button you can press and it'll make you lean.
Yeah.
I like the way it's implemented in Call of Duty a bit better, where it's an actual button you press to like mount to it, to actually snap onto it. So you can be behind a crate or be next to a wall and not accidentally try to aim something and all of a sudden it like snaps onto the wall and you're like, oh, what the fuck is going on here?
Well, that's the other thing. Like, you can because there's no vertical. You don't mount sideways in Battlefield. You can vertical mount. In Call of Duty, you can like go up to a door frame and mount on the fucking door frame, and you're like literally using the door frame as stability, which is fucking rad. It's a really, really cool evolution of the concept. I didn't find it that useful because I'm usually far better at horizontal recoil control.
Oh,
than I am
it's
at
amazing
vertical,
for like heavy machine guns. Like the
yeah.
recoil just drops significantly. Like, I was getting. There was one
Oh
game we
no,
played
but
with
that's the vertical, right? I'm talking about the sideways,
sideways.
right? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have that much. I never have that much trouble with horizontal recoil
Right.
control, is what I'm saying. Like, but yeah, the vertical stuff, holy shit, man! Like, it is fucking massive.
Lasers, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
I think it's a
disgusting.
good change. It's obviously not something you're going to be using a lot of in TDM. I mean, if you want to sit behind a wall and do it, sure thing, go nuts. But for the slower paced game modes where you really want to take your time,
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's like
or if
it
you're
makes it
camping
more,
in
more
TDM,
viable.
then
Yeah, sure, but it just gives you more options. Like it makes it more strategic. So I think it's
yeah,
a good change.
it is.
Maybe eventually they do add a lean mechanic in there, but I think it's a decent solution for the moment.
Yep.
What was the other change that they kind of made it more tactical? Oh, there was a revive system in
Yeah.
this mode as well, which was really cool because all of a sudden, like, it can be a 6 versus 3 game,
Yeah.
but if you're not taking care of, like, keeping an eye on those bodies, then it could come back to bite you in the ass. Sort of
Yeah.
like the way Apex Legends work, right? Or whereas you down 2 people, and it's like, where's the third guy?
Yeah.
Like, we can't leave this area because if we leave, he's going to respawn those 2 guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really good change, I think. Didn't see it executed all that well in our games, but
Well, I think there was one game where I think it was maybe 1-on-1. It was like me and some other dude, and I revived you
Yeah.
and Elliot,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden it was 3 versus 1 or something like that.
yeah, yeah. That was a good one.
I can't remember.
That was probably the best version we had of it, but yeah, largely it didn't work out. We didn't see a lot of it, but yeah, no, that's a really cool idea, and it's a good execution of it. I found it a little bit wonky trying to trigger it when I was
What?
trying to get Elliot back up. I found it a little
right.
bit wonky. It was a bit I don't know, fiddly, but
Right.
that can be fixed and stuff.
I have to go back
fighting.
and check, but I think I got footage of that game where I revived you guys, and at one point I was in cover behind like I don't know something. I was behind something and like crouching down and like rezzing somebody.
Yeah,
So you don't have to just be standing there out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit of leniency in terms of being near someone.
yeah,
You could go prone if you wanted, I guess, as well.
yeah. I didn't test
I didn't try it, but
Makes sense.
I just thought that was an interesting take on that. Like,
Search and destroy.
they-
It's essentially
they-
search and destroy,
they're trying to make it more strategic.
but like search and destroy was more traditional DE Counter Strike mode, whereas
Yeah.
this is closer to single flag capture the flag. And I think what they're trying to do is like establish a lot of opportunities for, like you said, the comeback. The idea that you haven't been paying enough attention to the state of the battlefield. You've got a lot of eliminations, but you haven't managed those eliminations, and so your advantage suddenly slips away, and maybe you get the plant on, but you can't secure it because now you're being overwhelmed and stuff like that, which is really a really interesting take on it. I reckon it's really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then there was headquarters. That was the next one we played. That was 10v10. And yeah, I thought it was fine, but I put it up on Twitter. I have a fucking clip of me capping the headquarters and then lying in place for the entire duration of the headquarters, and I don't see anyone until the last 15 seconds. I capped it on my own. There was one person who briefly ran through, and then I lay there on my own. I'd set up or prepared the headquarters in case anyone came through. I had my whatever that's no. I had the claymore at the stairs. I had the thing that zaps grenades away, whatever it's called.
I never used it.
Jaeger's ability in Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that, and I had a fucking deployable shield. Had all that shit. That room was set, right? And it was all just me.
Campus paradise.
Campus paradise. No, positional play paradise. And yeah, I didn't see anyone until the fucking end because
we were out killing them all.
Literally no reason to come there, right? Like you guys didn't have any reason. You guys were out farming kills, and the other team were either struggling to get there because they kept getting killed, or like it was better for them to go find you guys and kill you, right? Like, yeah, that mode hinges on people wanting to play the objective, and people didn't want to play the objective because they were trying to get kill streaks.
Yeah,
that I've never seen evidence of a hypothesis like played out so fucking quickly. It was fucking crazy. Yeah. Anyway.
Right. I do like the map though. When we were playing, actually all the maps. I really liked all the maps. Something they mentioned about in the presentation was adding, like, more areas in the map that you can kind of explore that didn't seem like there were locations you could get to because there's no stairs to get here. But actually, if you look around, you can then, vault onto this crate and then from there vault into the window. Like, it doesn't seem like it's somewhere you could get, but if you looked and tried to puzzle solve it, then I think maybe puzzle solving was like a word they used. Like, they wanted people to think of it as a puzzle.
Yeah.
And that, as someone who played like a ton of Black Ops 4, the maps in that were very like flat.
Yeah.
There was a couple of them where sort of there'd be stairs and whatnot, and it'd lead you up to a elevated area, but really it was really nothing going on there. It was sort of this flat location, and every once in a while there'd be a bit of verticality, but most of the time that would just lead you back down to the main floor. Whereas this is like there's like 3 stories up and like windows that you can sort of peer down and look into giant courtyards and trenches that you could walk through, and broken buildings that you'd have to like climb your way through. And it wasn't like, it didn't feel like just a flat location. Like,
No.
It felt like it had some depth to it.
Yeah.
Which is not like very different to what I'd played in the last maps in Black Ops. And so I really liked what they were doing in Modern Warfare for this time around. Yeah, so I really dug that map. I thought it was really cool. I actually, something we didn't touch on, fucking tanks. There was a tank in that map at one stage.
Yeah. It wasn't ours.
Just driving around.
It was the other
the other teams.
Yeah.
Because I'm rocking assault rifle, rocket launcher. I was like, here we go, boys. Just run up and so I'm like shooting rockets at a tank in Call of Duty. There's tanks in Call of Duty now.
Yep.
It's strange.
It was different. It was certainly different. Yeah. It's beastly. They only had one person driving it when I saw it. But it's got room for a second player to be on the like Top Gun and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a cool idea. It only really works on large scale maps, but yeah, nice.
Yeah. The other map we played was the I didn't get the name of it. It was like it had a cave. It was also the night vision map.
Oh yeah, yep.
That was really cool map.
Yeah.
Like some sick fights in that cave.
Yeah.
At one point,
they look really good too.
We had an amazing fight.
Yeah.
Where there was like
that was the map where they got the devs to start playing against us.
Yeah, and when I was like, oh, okay, this is getting a bit harder.
Yeah.
And we were actually having to really fight for it, but yeah, there was some awesome fights in that cave. The lighting system.
Yeah.
New lighting system looks so slick.
So your bullets, a lot of your bullets have traces on them, so you see the fucking zip of these bullets every now and then, and you can hear the fucking gunfire and the chatter and the fucking like muzzle flashing and stuff. The way sound works, they went real deep into how sound works. They've paid a lot of attention on the way sound reflects off surfaces and stuff like that.
Yeah, they put like a new sound engine in there and recorded a bunch of sort of the ways things bounce off walls, or if you shoot
Gunfights
something off in the distance.
in that
Really try to
sound
give
fucking
Battlefield
sick.
a run for its money.
Yeah, because I mean, Call of Duty has been king for a long time, but it's never come close to touching Battlefield on the sound front. Like, never even close. Battlefield is the king of sound, 100% in games, in my opinion. It is 100% one of the best sounding games, and it's obviously graphically. I still think Battlefield has Call of Duty pipped graphically, but it's closer than it's ever been before. That
it looks really nice.
Fucking real good.
Like, it still looks like it doesn't look like last year's Black Ops.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels like a Call of Duty game. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a brand new engine, but as soon as you pick it up, you're like, yep, easy. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not like remember the transition from like Counter-Strike to Counter-Strike, was it Source or Go?
Source.
I can't remember.
It was just Source.
And it was just like, what is going on here? This just doesn't, like, eventually they got there, but this you pick it up, you're like, yeah, cool, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Easy. It just looks a lot better. It looks really nice.
Mm.
The map that we played, this cave map, there was also a night vision version, or a nighttime version.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to play it. I don't think you did either.
No.
I did watch some of the footage that I've got.
Yep.
Because they left it running when we did our interviews, and some of the devs jumped on, and I think they were nice enough to record our footage for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks really cool. Like that, again, back to the lighting thing of being in a pitch black cave and just seeing like somebody standing there and firing off around, and sort of the light reflecting off the walls behind them.
Yeah.
Looks rad. It looks really cool.
They did HUDless as well, which is real good. I like HUDless.
Yeah. So it switches off all like the elements on your screen, and you can't really see what's going on. The other thing that they were doing was when you put in your night vision, you can attach it's attached like a laser scope to the bottom, and you use that as your crosshair.
Yeah.
So when you ADS, so you look down your sights, and it enables the laser, and then that's where you aim. But the enemies can also see that, so they can, it gives away your position. If you're walking around the corner and you're like ADSing, they know there's someone there. Or you could just hip fire and hope to get them and sort of surprise them. But I'd really like to check that out. But from the footage that I saw, it looks really cool. Or it looks interesting, at least. Like, I don't know if it's one of those modes where people will kind of just play it once or twice and be like, that's cool, and then go back to regular Call of Duty. But it's interesting that it's in there at least. Yeah.
And then all the way up to 20v20, which was, what was it called? Warzone Domination.
Yep.
I didn't like this mode very much. It's basically Conquest in Battlefield, except you can't choose where you spawn. And so I felt like I was just getting dumped at bad spawn points a lot. People weren't playing the objectives. They were just fighting over pointless choke points. And so I just found myself in a lot of firefights in illogical spaces on my way to the objective. So it felt like if Battlefield got everything wrong, in my opinion. I just didn't like it. I really didn't have a lot of fun in that mode. They're going to do something. They're going to give you the ability to choose your fucking spawn point or something like that. Because without it, just spawning at random spots, you're either spending way too long running back to the gunfight that you wanted to be in, or you're getting caught up in gunfights that don't make any sense. It actually reminded me a bit of that fucking new map in Mordhau with all the fucking horses. Not because like there were vehicles everywhere running me over, but more because it seemed like the main thrust of the battles we were having on that map weren't happening on the objectives at all. They were happening outside of the objectives because people just wanted to fucking clash swords. And it wasn't working towards pushing the objective or anything like that, because that's a straight line map in Mordhau. But everyone in our play session was treating it like a straight line map because they were just trying to take B. I just didn't like it. But it's because they've failed to properly incentivize players to play objectives.
Yeah, that was my one criticism in my preview that I put as well, is that there's no spawn system. There's no ability to choose where you want to land. Yeah, like you said, the two problems with that is you can't pick a point and be like, hey guys, let's go attack this, because either you're not spawning with people that you want to spawn with, or they're like spawning somewhere completely different to you.
Yeah.
And then the alternative to that is you can't defend a position because you can't choose where you want to spawn. So, like, oh, this spot's being taken. I can't spawn there because I'm on the other side of the map now.
At least,
So now,
like, I guess you've got the tack insert, right? But that's
you need to have that.
and it's the barest of. It's not a fucking solution to the problem. It's a fucking patch. It's a band-aid fix. To a much larger problem as well. It'd be like fucking band-aiding over a fucking severed leg or something. Like, it doesn't really fucking fix anything. It's nice that it exists. We know the band-aid's there. Okay, don't write in telling us about the fucking band-aid. But you're still fucking bleeding out on the fucking carpet. Yeah.
And I guess it makes it less competitive because there's more randomness thrown in there.
Yeah.
Because you can't choose where you want to be, or like the game just kind of throws you in where it thinks you should put you, and then there you go. Like there was the first time I played that map, I thought I was actually playing with you guys, and then it wasn't until like one of our games finished and I looked over and like I was still playing or something. I'm like, what? Oh, we're in a different server. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And what was going on in my game was the other team was literally like just sitting in the one spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I'm running around all these points. I couldn't find anybody. And they were all sort of sitting around this house, just camping this house. And I was so confused as to what was going on in this mode.
Yeah.
Because it felt like more to me, we weren't playing like a domination mode, more like this is their spawn point and they've got to come and take it from us. Like, that's what it felt like to me, but it wasn't. It was just literally they were just held up in this house the entire time.
Yeah.
Because the map is so huge, I'm running around trying to find people, and I'm like, I'm literally going from one side of the map to the other, and I can't find anybody. But if I go over to this house, our two teams are just fucking battling each other there the entire time.
Yeah, that's what was happening now as well. So that's why we didn't work out that you weren't in the fucking same thing, because you weren't specifically saying they were at the house. You were just like, they will not fucking leave that spot. And and I'm like, yeah, they fucking love it. I don't fucking get it, because in my map, it was the exact same fucking deal. They were all fucking clashing over this one fucking
like near the containers,
wall. And it's like,
and we were in different servers. It turned out we weren't even playing together, and the two servers were doing the same thing. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why aren't people going for objectives? All right, I guess I'm just gonna go kill people over here.
Yeah,
like they weren't even near an objective.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything over there. We were just fighting in that one spot.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, I liked that the map was so big. I was super surprised at how big it was.
Huge map. It's a really good size.
We spawned in and there were ATVs, and I was like, all right, why are there ATVs on this map?
Yeah.
Well, because it's a battle royale. So they were just like, fuck it, we'll just put them in here.
But yeah, no, you needed those ATVs to get from like the furthest west point to the first east point, because otherwise you just fucking run for yonks. Yeah, it was good.
But eventually I did get into your server, and we started running around and capping some points, which is a better experience for me at least.
Yeah, but yikers. Yeah, it wasn't ideal. And then from there, the best mode in the game, gunfight, 2v2. Honest to God, I had more fun playing gunfight than I did any other fucking mode, and it's not an indictment of the other modes. It is a testament to how fucking awesome gunfight is. They have fucking killed it with that mode. I wrote a big story on Red Bull, literally just about gunfight, an ode to gunfight, how much I love gunfight. It is 2v2. It's on these tiny maps. To hear the devs tell it, it was created as a fucking lark, as a bit of an experiment, so they could test some weapons and stuff. That quickly turned into like weekly tournaments with the entire fucking dev team, like getting beers and standing around and trash talking and loving it. Apparently it's highly customizable. You can go in and you can make it 1v1, 3v3. You can turn it into a reverse gun game. I'm glad to hear that it's reverse gun game. Like, they directly described it. They didn't call it reverse gun game. They didn't call it gun game at all. But you start
gun games in Call of Duty.
Hey, yeah, but it's always
gun
been
games.
The wrong version.
Just switch it. It's not hard.
But they never go reverse. I don't know. Yeah, you start with the most powerful loadouts because the way it works, right, is 2v2 is the default. Everyone starts with the exact same kit. They've got the same primary
random loadout,
same secondary. Yeah, they'll have an M4, a rocket launcher, a grenade, and a flashbang. Everyone has all four of those same things. In the next round, they might have a shotgun, a pistol, a claymore, and a
smoke grenade.
Yeah. And then in the next round, they might have a sniper rifle,
rocket launcher.
Yeah, or a sniper rifle and an AR, right? Like,
or a pistol.
Because they've got that two primary weapons perk. And a fucking Molotov, and yeah. Each round, actually, I think it's every 2 rounds because they swap sides. So you play like with the same loadout from each side each time. But after 2 rounds, you get a new loadout and you try again. And it's really about using what you've got at hands to the best of quickly, mentally fucking analyzing what you've got, doing something with it, and fucking executing a fucking plan as quick as possible. To go back to the gun game thing, they've got it so that you've got a really powerful loadout and you'll work your way down until you have to finish on a shit loadout. That's in the game. It's something they experimented with. You can play it in party mode or custom mode. Like, they've got all that kind of stuff in the game. They've gone real deep in making 2v2, in making gunfight like a robust fucking game mode, which is fucking sick. We didn't get to play any of the custom stuff. We just played default gunfight. It was fucking awesome. I loved it so much. I had so much fucking fun. It was you and me on the same team. We were playing against Elliot and a random staff member. A couple of games it was with a dev, and a couple of games it was with one of the tech support staff.
Sure.
It was fucking fun. It was just it was exactly what they had designed it to be. Just trash talking, in the moment, direct competition, where you're literally all that matters is the next kill. There's no kill streak. There's no objective. If you die, you're out for the rest of the round. You just have to watch as your partner does what they can. That kind of shit. And yeah, it's best of 10, first to 6. It's fantastic.
A maximum of probably about a minute. They're 40-second sort of rounds, and then once it hits 40 seconds, there's a flag that spawns in the middle of the map, and it's the first one to cap it.
It takes I think it's 4 seconds to cap, and it is brilliant. You carried us sometimes. I carried us sometimes. We didn't lose it all to Elliot, which is really all that matters. And
we have compilations up on the internet just to rub it in.
He was getting so fucking salty about it as well. He was G'ing up because he wasn't. His teammates weren't necessarily on our level. We were definitely up here, and his teammate was somewhere lower. He was doing quite well against almost 1v2. He had a couple of fucking good wins. I gotta give him props. He did well, but on the other hand, I was going for the knife a lot. Once we realized just how lopsided even this matchup was, I started to meme it up a little. So No,
I mean, there was some matches where it's like, all right, rocket launchers only.
yeah.
And so we're just like trying to rocket launch each other.
There was that good one where you both rocket launched each other at the same time. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm just like, fuck it, bam.
Yeah.
Straight at the ground.
Yeah, and he must have done exactly the same thing. And then I went,
No, I killed both of us.
oh, on my screen it came up as a trade.
Because he did damage to me before that.
Right.
So I was nearly dead. So I just, when I killed myself,
It counted for him.
splash damage, and so he gets the kill.
Yeah, fair enough. And then I knifed his teammate. Yeah, gold. Classic.
Yeah. Like, they're really quick maps. You start engagements within like about a second. You can sometimes just see someone nearly straight away. And so it can be really quick. There's no respawning. There's literally, at the moment, the way it's presented is there's health bars at the top of the screen, sort of like a team health bar, how much is left per team. So if you eliminate one person and there's 50 health left, then you know that, oh, okay, I know how much that player's got.
Yeah.
And then if you do hit them, you can then tell, like, they've only got 2 health left, so I may as well just fucking run at them. Like, if you've got 2 players, you can sort of play that way, as opposed to being like, oh, I'm not sure how much health those guys left. I don't know if they'll end up changing that, but it's an interesting way of showing like who's winning on each team, I guess, in real time. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, as I said, it reminds me of like a Rocket Arena. I nearly said Rocket League, a Rocket Arena type situation where, because Rocket Arena was very similar. You could play 1v1, 2v2. And it was these quick, really like
I said the same thing in my
fast-paced rounds.
But
Did I say that?
But I said it was it makes you old to reference Rocket Arena. It was a dig.
I said it somewhere. I don't remember where I said it.
In your piece, didn't you?
No, I don't think I wrote it in there. Maybe.
I know. I definitely saw you say it. I
don't know if we talked about it.
Yeah, maybe we just talked about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was definitely referencing you when I talked about it being like Rocket Arena, because
maybe we mentioned it in our interview or something.
No, we talked about arena shooters, but we didn't talk about Rocket Arena. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we just talked about it afterwards. I don't know.
We got here bulletprint, night vision, kill streaks, gunsmith, lots of customizations.
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
They're talking like 30 to 60 attachments per weapon.
It's cool. It's a cool way to showcase it, but it didn't feel like that big a deal to me. Generally, except for the scope, you just equip whatever is lowest on the list, provided it works. I think it's cool that you can take an AK and turn it into a sniper, a DAC sniper rifle, or a fucking SMG. I think that's fucking rad. You can do the same with an M4. Turn an AS-50 into a fucking short range fucking weapon and got a fucking ton of kills with it, but apparently I wasn't allowed to show the gunsmithing of that weapon. I found out that at the fucking 13th hour. It's still cool. Like, it's a cool system, and you're really able to customize your weapon in a way that you want. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel that it brought that much to the table. I guess it was just
I mean, it's a different way of the way it worked in the last game was like I think it's a sort of similar where you'll kind of progressively unlock it as you level up the weapon. I mean, there's definitely a ton of attachments, because I don't know about you, but I will actively in games like Apex be like, I need this specific sight. Like, that's what I want to use. I don't like the other sight. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't like the holo. I want the red dot. Like,
yeah.
And looking at, there's fucking so many scopes on some of those guns.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck am I gonna use? Like, I don't even know the difference of some of these. It'd be cool if there was a way to test out some of these changes.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be really cool, because there's just so much stuff that you
shooting
can go in
range
there, like a muzzle brake, suppressors and just
when I was
so
doing
much stuff.
When I was on the barrel mods, the suppressor type mods, I very desperately missed at least the fucking Rainbow Six style picture of the spread. You know, the picture that it does that shows you the reduction in vertical or horizontal recoil. I really missed something like that, because I think that would be really, at least immediately, give me some idea of what the fuck a muzzle brake is going to do to it. Like, tells you plus minus recoil or whatever the fuck, but it's meaningless to me, right? Like functionally meaningless to me, because what I really need is a lot more information. So yeah, a fucking gun range or even just a fucking picture would be a huge fucking deal. Yeah.
I felt that way about the scopes. Is it like 3 different types of holo scopes?
Yeah.
Like, what does the actual dot look like? What does the scope look like? How much
Screen
is
real
it,
estate
like,
is taking up, yeah.
Yeah, and so not knowing that information, I mean, maybe there is something in there later on, but from what we saw, I couldn't see it. So I couldn't really get a grasp of what I'd be looking at.
Yeah.
Tactical sprint is interesting. Like a double tap sprint makes you run even quicker, takes you longer to sort of bring your weapon back down. Some interesting changes there. What else was there? They talked about like no season pass anymore, which is good. I mean, we've been fucking complaining about that.
But they wouldn't
for
talk
a
about
long
what
time.
the monetization plans were, so
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll do the whatever they did with Black Ops, which was that same as Fortnite, like
Right.
the season pass,
right.
with the 2 tiers, free and a premium pass. You get the unlocks. I think that works fine, and they'll just have maps and content be free.
Yeah.
And I talked about this at Christmas. I think it was Christmas or maybe just after Christmas this year, about how like after Black Ops dropped all the new content, like the other playlists were just dead because everybody had moved on, but the people that hadn't couldn't get any more games anymore.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Battlefield. Like I complained about the season passes way back when, and they've eventually gotten rid of all that stuff. So I think it's a good move. It needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because you just end up splitting player bases.
Yeah.
They've obviously got the operators and factions in there. It doesn't seem like they contribute much. They were talking about like executions for these characters and individual voice lines, but I didn't really get a sense of what that was.
And it's literally cosmetic only. Like the differences between them are all cosmetic. The executions all take the same amount of time, and like they don't bring anything different to the table. So it's literally just up to your own preference, which is, I think, a good move. Yeah.
Otherwise, we also did interviews with the developers.
Yep.
It was a group interview.
Yes.
First one was us two and one other person.
Yep. Taiwanese chap.
It was good. I liked that one. That was a good interview because it
We-
wasn't a lot of people.
Yeah. We got to ask a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, one of the guys we interviewed was Australian. I didn't realize until the like midway through the interview.
Yeah.
When I was like, this dude sounds sort of Australian. I think might be Australian, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. He kept dropping
I didn't
back. He was
pick on
saying afterwards that he, like, talking to us, he kept dropping back
He kept
into
bringing
his
back.
Aussie accent.
Yeah, because at the start when we were talking to him, I didn't notice
Yeah.
until late, like a couple of minutes in. I was like, this guy kind of sounds like Australian,
Yeah.
but he doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was from Sydney.
Yep.
He was a design director who definitely like knew his stuff. He was. I like getting interviews with people that are higher up in the food chain and that like give you good answers, because they were giving good answers.
They were
just like,
absolutely. Jack O'Hara was his name. Yeah, they were giving really good answers, like a lot of insight, a shit ton of insight, which is
like things they probably shouldn't have been talking about.
like behind the scenes stuff, right? Like, the exact kind of stuff you want to hear.
Yeah.
The other dude was Paul Hale, PC production manager. So yeah, they were keen to talk about anything PC related. We talked a lot about crossplay. Talked a lot about gunfights. Talked a lot about how is Call of Duty Modern Warfare different to any of the other Call of Duties. Thanks to our Taiwanese chap asking one of the worst interview questions I've ever heard in my entire life.
I mean, we were going in prepping for the Polygon questions from our friends in Germany, but we didn't get that far.
It was world class. Yeah, that was a good interview. Just felt like we got heaps of time to talk about a fuck ton of shit.
Sorry, on the PC side, I did ask him about what was it? Playlists and low population regions like Australia, and having the PC guy there being able to talk to him about. I mean, I don't necessarily know if he works on that, but he had the multiplayer or a design director there that works on multiplayer also knowing that sort of stuff, and I felt like they had good answers for it.
They
like,
really did.
Talking about how they think crossplay will
alleviate a lot of it.
will help fix some of that stuff, and that they've also started paying attention to the issues that we were bringing up with them, saying that like smaller population regions do have issues with all these different modes and like not necessarily being able to find matches, and they were talking about how they've got the ability now to make those changes on a data center level. So not necessarily like PUBG, we've just seen it in PUBG. They've just pushed out region-specific changes, whereas if you're in these locations, we'll let you match up for as long as you want if you want to stay on that server.
Yeah.
Fucking a year and a half ago, we were telling them to do this shit, and they've only just done it.
Yep.
And yeah, the Call of Duty guys are like, yeah, we've got that capability to do that, and that's something we're aware of, and we're going to use it if we need to. But we think that crossplay will resolve those problems. So, like, they know about this stuff, and it's cool to get an insight into, what they're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. The other interview was with Jeff Smith, who's the multiplayer design director, and Mark Grigsby, who is Sergeant Grigsby from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and also the animation director. That was that was a good interview. I thought it was a good interview. I did not want to use any of my good questions on these dudes because we were stuck with like 9 other motherfuckers.
There was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people in that room. They crammed a fuck ton of us in there. Seemed like one dude might have missed his other interviews and snuck into our one, which I wasn't about. But because I believe we were only supposed to be doing interviews alongside APAC, so we had the Japanese people, all the Japanese people who'd come over.
An American guy.
I think the American guy was supposed to be in another interview and he arrived late because he came and sat down opposite me and he hadn't been there earlier because we hadn't been butt blasting him the entire fucking morning. So he must have been fucking late. Anyway, I didn't want to use any of my good questions, my good multiplayer direct questions, which is obviously a bummer because I think Jeff Smith would have had really good answers. But the upside was that Mark Grigsby had really good answers to my animation-related questions, so I was pretty stoked. I got some good answers out of that. There's some insight as well. Jeff Smith seemed happy to talk about Gunfight. Talked about how they used it for testing and all that kind of stuff. That was really interesting to me. They were able to clarify a couple of things that I wasn't sure about regarding the way the idle animations impacted the game. So it wound up. It was interesting to me because I talk out about the dumbest shit, and I'd noticed that when they were standing with the idle animation, the laser on the gun actually follows where the idle animation is going, which means that it's actually like mapped, right? Like the gun is mapped to the animation, which is awesome, right? Unless it also means that your first bullet is not where, like, if you were to immediately press the fucking mouse click from the idle animation, would it go to where the laser is, or would it go to where the crosshair is, right?
Sure.
And I saw an element in Gunsmith that I thought indicated that perhaps it would reduce the amount of sway.
Sure, yeah.
But it was actually the scope sway, which is good, right? It makes a lot of sense. And they confirmed for me that your first bullet will go exactly where it should. Like, your first bullet is correct every single time, which is good, right?
Yeah.
And the idle animation doesn't impact that at all. It's just cosmetic. But it was still cool seeing like the fucking laser move with the idle animation. I don't know why like that shit fucking G's me up. I just find like
that was the thing, right?
Attention to detail, right? Like,
is that like you get interviews sometimes and they're like, you're speaking to this person. You're like, what the fuck am I going to talk to this person about? Like, I don't know. And the good thing was that they had Mark, the animation director, up on stage earlier talking about all the shit the animation team have put into this game. And then so you can listen to him talk about it and then be like, oh, okay, I'm interested in that topic. I'm going to ask him questions about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
exactly.
opposed to being like, I don't know what this dude has worked on.
Yeah.
So what am I going to ask?
Yeah.
That stuff's cool. Yeah, the one geek thing that I asked, which was the only thing I was really interested in when I was watching them show that presentation on the screen, and later on when we were playing, the military wristwatch, and it's something Nate's talked about before, of like having the wristwatch on the inside so reflections don't give away your position. But the wristwatch, I noticed the hands and the clock was actually moving
Yep.
when you were playing the game, and so I was like, I just basically asked them, does that serve any functional purpose in the game? I thought maybe it was tied to like the game countdown clock, like how much is left in the round, and they're like, no, it actually tells you the time on your PC.
Yeah. For some reason, I already knew that. I was very confused by that question because I'm like, I already know this answer. It's tied to your fucking machine clock. Why the fuck is he asking this? But yeah, evidently not everyone did. Or maybe I just like fucking. Maybe I just like Rain Manned it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the time that's the time on that watch is the time what it is here. Oh,
Yeah.
it must be the same. They must just like match it to the time wherever it is, and just like mentally made the leap on my own. But I don't know. For some reason, I was certain I already knew the fucking answer to that when you asked it, which was odd. And then you gave him shit about fucking
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, so the interview before that, well, and this one as well, they were we just flat out asked them like, what's going on with Battle Royale, and they because they have not confirmed a Battle Royale game, but also when you ask them is there one, they say, well, we haven't announced one. So you say, well, is there not one? And they say, we not answering that. Like, they won't say there's no Battle Royale game.
Yeah. They're
not saying no.
They won't say no. No.
But they're not saying yes.
They're absolutely not saying yes either. But yeah, it was. It's definitely coming. It's definitely happening. We know 100% it's going to happen. Well, maybe not 100%. We can't guarantee that it's going to happen. But I would bet literally everything I have.
I was at the event. I would say 100% it's happening. But since we've left the event, they've announced a new mode.
Yeah.
Because at the event they were talking about, they actually teased that they have larger player count modes to come, and this was after they talked about the 20 versus 20.
Yeah.
So I asked them during the interviews, like, the larger player count modes, is this like, are you talking about the 20v20, or is there something more than that? And they said, no, we've got more. We've basically got 100 plus people in a game working right now.
They said up to 100.
Yeah,
we've had 100 players in the same game at the same time. Is what they said.
And so obviously that goes to, all right, Battle Royale. We've got ATVs in the game. We've got tanks. We've got flyable helicopters. It seems to be at large scale maps that work really well. So yeah, it seemed to be like they were pointing to a Battle Royale mode. And then asking them questions about it, they didn't want to say it's not in there. So I mean, generally, if you were asking someone, is there a mode is this thing in the game, they tend to say no.
Yeah.
Like, they're not doing that. They weren't saying no. They were saying, we haven't announced
Should
anything.
we put one in? Stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, or we haven't announced anything, or we've got, like, you know...
We're not ready to talk about that. We're just talking about the multiplayer we got on.
They kept saying we're talking about core Battlefield multiplayer today.
So
core Battlefield multiplayer...
Core Call of Duty.
Sorry,
Stop
Call of Duty
Battlefield.
is your TD, like your core playlist
6v6,
like,
10v10, 22v20, 2v2. Yeah.
So whatever they've got coming after that. And then we left the event, and then they sent out a press release saying that there's a Ground War.
Yeah.
Which is a 100-player experience.
But I think there's Ground War and there will be Battle Royale.
Yeah. I think there will be a Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Should I have told them it should be free?
Yes. It should be free. It needs to be a free mode.
Yeah.
It's such a good selling point. It'd be the quickest way to get people to realize how faithful the fucking ballistic, the gunplay is. The true Call of Duty is. Be all like, here's fucking Modern Warfare Battle Royale for free. Play the rest of Call of Duty this October, something like that.
Yeah.
It's
The multiplayer design director asked if there should be a battle royale mode in Modern Warfare, and I said yes, only if it's free. To his face.
It's not the most tactful thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Straight to the point.
Good lord. He was quite taken aback by the answer. Yeah. Yep. But it was good.
Felt like it gave a good reason.
You made.
Is that all the other ones are free?
Yeah.
All the other good ones are free.
Here we go. That's good PUBG dig.
Yep.
Way to come out as a Fortnite fan.
I thought they were good interviews.
Great interviews. Great interviews. Really pleased. I definitely thought I was going to get shit interviews.
That's what I thought as well.
Because I'm pretty used to getting bad interviews these days. And didn't. Fantastic interviews. Like great interviewees. Heaps of insight. And well worth it. But
right.
Yeah, that's it. Is that Call of Duty?
Yeah, anything else to add?
No.
It's good. I mean, we obviously a lot of negative, not a lot of negative stuff, but some criticisms there.
But
otherwise,
is what I had to add.
So much stuff.
What I will add is let's do the fucking news.
Yeah, let's do the news. What do we got here? Ninja moves exclusively to Mixer.
It's pretty huge. It's a pretty huge deal.
Coming from anywhere.
No, neither do I. And I remember last year we were hanging shit on the Australian Game Awards. And we were hanging shit on the Australian... Well, I was hanging shit on the Australian Game Awards. And I was like, the Mixer personality of the year is this guy with 12 subs. Because nobody fucking streams on Mixer. But if you had fucking... I think I also said I'm going to fucking start streaming on Mixer now so I can win the Mixer Streamer of the Year. Because nobody did it. If I had started on streaming on Mixer... today would be a fucking massive win because good God, the amount of potential viewers is going to skyrocket with Ninja on board. The amount of fucking publicity Mixer just got is out of control. That is a huge fucking get. I think, Michael Jordan got fucking stupid amounts of money and then a piece of the action from Nike to lock him in.
You think he's got shares?
He's got to have shares. It's got to be a fucking piece of the pie. That's the only way that makes sense. Because
he's literally the biggest streamer on Twitch.
Yeah,
he is left.
To drag him away from Twitch, they would have had to pay so much fucking money. Out of control amounts of money, I can't even fathom what that would equate to, except for literally a piece of the action in Mixer, plus millions of dollars.
Yeah, man. I think we talked about this on the show. Maybe we didn't, but Mixer ditched a bunch of their staff recently, just before, or was it just after E3?
I don't know.
Might have been just after E3 to kind of throw things under the rug.
Right.
And at that stage, when I saw that news, I was like, oh, they're in trouble. They're cutting staff and, they're just making some change. It seems like Mixer is going under or something.
Yeah.
And then for them to come out with this news today, it's maybe they're just reevaluating stuff because that's massive. That's they've taken the biggest streamer from Twitch away from them.
Yeah.
And Twitch wasn't able to hold on.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that there was discussions backwards and forwards between Ninja and Twitch to say what's going to take to keep me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how Mixer goes from here on out because there are chances that they might have agreed to stuff that Twitch feels is not what their platform is about. Maybe there are traditionally they have refused to advertise other streamers when a stream is happening. Maybe Mixer's okay with that. I don't see why they should be, but there's a chance, right? And
sure.
Yeah.
And I think I think Twitch has proven in the past that they're not very good with moderating things that are happening on their streams. I think Microsoft probably has a better grip around that, especially with someone like Phil Spencer at the head of Xbox and maybe having some say into what's going on over there.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like just the things they've incorporated technology-wise into Mixer that we haven't seen brought across to Twitch yet, like the multi-channel streaming stuff.
Yeah.
So cool to like having multiple people up on a stream or multiple whatever it is channels and being able to watch them all at once. Like you can't do that on Twitch without going to an external API and bringing that sort of stuff up. So
yeah, it's pretty rad.
I think it's a huge get for them.
It is. And I don't think it's, if you wanted to start streaming or you're a small streamer, I think you would be heavily incentivized now to move to Mixer. I think it'd be a strong move. Except for like if you've already got fucking people who have got 12 months of subs and shit, then obviously you're kind of stuck. But yeah, if you've got nothing to lose on Twitch, I think you would probably be doing well to move to Mixer. Yeah. Anyway,
cool.
Speaking of Ninja, Fortnite is how he it's not how he got his start, but it's how he rose, to meteoric rise to fame. And the World Championships are on the weekends. Did you watch this?
No.
I watched it for about 15 minutes and
watched the highlights.
Couldn't fucking bear to continue watching it. I do not enjoy watching fucking Fortnite. But at the same time, I also don't enjoy watching the NFL. So, except as a highlights package. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but it is huge. A kid called Booger won fucking $3 million fucking dollars, which is sick. Congrats to him. Apparently his fucking org took 20%, which is fucked.
That's huge.
That's out of control. Yeah, but fucking, I bet they're cheering. They made $600,000 off a 16-year-old. That's pretty fucked. Yeah. I don't know. It was a very popular event. People seem to have fun, which is really all that matters. I don't have to like every fucking game that exists. So yeah, basically, congrats to everyone who made some fucking money. That's sick. And yeah, hopefully it continues for fucking all of eternity, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's not going to take away from other games that exist. So that's pretty sick. It's awesome. The reactions the mainstream media have had, some 16-year-old winning $3 million, have been pretty fucking good. I've enjoyed seeing that quite a bit. Yeah, a lot of people are not able to fucking, I guess, internalize the concepts that video games would be worth that much money.
Sure.
So it is a pretty quick way to very quickly legitimize esports in a lot of people's minds. So that's pretty good. But yeah, otherwise, that's about it. Any thoughts?
Yeah. I did. I watched the highlights. So I fucking can't watch it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, just everything seems to end the same way. With this fucking circle moving and people just building on top of each other until they ran out of mats.
Yeah.
Or someone shotguns someone else in the face.
Yeah.
I just don't like Fortnite esports.
Neither do I.
It's so boring to watch.
Yep. That's it.
That's the news.
That's the news. We've got some questions. Because I specifically asked for questions. Because how could I have known then we would still be going at fucking 7:30 at night? What a fucking moron. Okay. I do appreciate you writing in. How do you write in questions, Luke?
thegapodcast.com/discord.
That's it. So, we've got, first up, Dangers writes, "Hi, Lurk and Joan. Who would win a gladiator-style 1v1 fight between yourselves, and why? Also, when do you think Jak and Daxter will be added to Smash Bros. Ultimate? Thanks for the minutes of entertainment over the years." Dang. That is a dope fucking sign-off, Dang.
That's a question.
Let's start with the second question first. When do you think Jak and Daxter? I think they'll add Daxter and not Jack. And I think will happen in December of this year.
Why is that?
It's Daxter starts with D, December starts with D. There's a sort of alliterative quality to that I think makes a lot of internalogical sense.
Okay.
Yeah. When do you think?
What's their release schedule like? Are they doing them often, or?
What am I, the fucking king of Smash Bros?
I don't watch Smash Brothers.
Do you think
it's a TV show, right?
It is. It is. Yeah, it's like The Bachelor. Yeah, no, I think Jack and Daxter is actually contractually obligated to stay tied to PlayStation All Stars, I'm afraid. So he will be coming to PlayStation All Stars 2 in 2020. Yeah, so obviously.
Do you think they'll make that?
They're currently working on it. I guarantee.
Oh, okay.
It was such a roaring success last time that
I liked it.
I didn't. First question: who would win a Gladiator style 1v1 fight between yourselves, and why? Gladiator style, I assume, means in a sand pit arena with weapons. Because if it was like fist fight, I got fucking 30 kilos on Luke. I'm gonna fucking murder him. Like we're 3 weight classes apart. They literally, like, there's not an athletic commission on earth that would sanction that fight. It just doesn't make any sense for Luke to get into that fight at all. It doesn't even matter in relative strength. I'd literally just sit on him and then wait until he fucking passed out. Gladiator style with weapons, though, that changes things because Luke's a lanky fuckhole. He's got quite a bit of reach.
Got that reach.
He's got that reach.
Stamina.
So yeah, if he
just block you forever until you pass out.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I get in around the weapons, and I'd have to do that to then engage my sitting on him until he passed out strategy. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do it. I think Luke might actually have it if weapons are in play. Good question. You got any thoughts on this topic? Obviously,
I told you I just block you until you got gassed out.
That's true. Yeah. All right. Johnny Bravo writes, "G'day, gents. 2 weeks ago, I asked a question and used the word vectors to describe multiple paths to achieve multiple items. Luke indicated that he wasn't happy with this word and then proceeded to replace with multiple skews. What the fuck is multiple skews?" Luke?
Okay.
Do you not remember this incident?
I think I remember it being about what game was it?
It must have been. Yeah,
I just opened it.
Going back up. Hey, gents, what are your thoughts on the growing amount of vectors to gain in-game stuff that fall outside of the base game or DLC? So, you go. Answer the man's question.
Right. Okay. So he was talking about like multiple skews.
Skews in this case is SKU.
I've just read he's written skews like SKEWS. No, we're talking SKU,
which is retailer talk for unit, for a unit of sale.
Yeah. So like different packages. So you've got your fucking standard edition, your deluxe edition, and then your ultimate gamer edition. So yeah, I don't even remember what I said back then, but the idea is that I don't like multiple SKUs, like where you
stop reading the questions. You're not allowed to read the questions anymore. Stop reading them. Minimize the fucking questions. You gotta stop reading. I can see you reading. I can see you. You're fucking looking.
I'm looking at you.
Your eyes are fucking darting across the fucking screen. I can see you reading. Minimize.
I'm looking at you.
There we go.
At the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. The multiple SKUs of having like bonus incentives, and the one I've probably brought up was the NBA 2K stuff, or the Battlefield stuff, or the stuff that like Microsoft's been doing with early access. I'm just not a fan of the way like that is sort of like a predatory nature on consumers, of being like, hey, you can give us an extra $60 and you can play this game 3 days early.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was related to what the question was originally, but
Well, I think he was just asking what a skew is. Question
Okay.
2, Johnny Bravo writes, question 2, because no one else wants to contribute. If you couldn't purchase individual games in your only path, Vector, question mark. I like the word Vector. Vector's a good word.
Vector's a graphic, isn't it?
Oh my god. It's a direction of movement. To play games was through one subscription service. Which one would you choose? PlayStation Now, EA Origin Premiere, Xbox Game Pass, Uplay Plus, Humble Bundle. Sorry, Uplay Plus. I said Uplay Plus. Uplay Plus, Humble Bundle, or another. I'd go Xbox Game Pass in a fucking heartbeat. Like in a fucking second. You couldn't fucking stop me. Mostly because I could play the games on my fucking Xbox or on my fucking PC. And yeah, they drop some pretty fucking decent games. You get some good stuff out of that. A lot of fucking Xbox exclusives that wind up being playable on PC, which is fucking sick. And that's about it. What have I gotten out of Origin Premiere? Call of Duty. Some Command and Conquer games that I already owned, and Anthem, which I didn't even buy it, but I have buyer's remorse. PlayStation Now. Is that what PlayStation Plus became? I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time. If it got you free God of War and free Spider-Man, it'd be a fucking close contender. It'd be a strong contender, but I'd be restricted to playing games on my PS4, so sure. It's not a goal. Uplay Plus, they just don't release enough games.
I think that hasn't launched yet, has it?
No, but I imagine he's talking about when it comes out.
Sure, I think they were going with, was it Division 2?
Yeah, but
putting out?
I don't think they have enough games to really warrant the subscription. Humble
What
Bundle.
if they had
You've got
fucking
this
Rainbow and then Division and then like topped it off with For Honor? Like that's the trifecta, right?
Oh, For Honor, yeah, I fucking love For Honor. What a fucking great game! I can't believe that's still going. Humble Bundle. You got the Humble Bundle subscription, don't you?
Yeah. I think what I get this month, I think it was Kingdom Deliverance. Is that the game name?
Yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good get.
Yeah.
So, would you go Humble then?
It's my second year in Humble.
Would you go Humble or Xbox Game Pass? Or which one would you go? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. That was a good question. Good question, JB. Okay. Baz writes, can you repeat my question now that Luke is back, please, gents? I read ahead a little bit. Anyway, he asked the question last week, and I will ask it again. Right. Why does Luke get angry when people say Valve doesn't make games? They are kind of right. Counter-Strike remake aside, in the last decade, they've done a shitty card game, Artifact, and just copied mods other people have made, Dota 2 and Underlords. If someone had told me 10 years ago that's all they'd made, I would have laughed at them. I'd like to point out to Baz that Counter-Strike is also a mod that they have copied off some other people, so they didn't even make that. So, your move, Luke. Why do you get angry when people say?
Oh, because they do make games. Games are a service these days now.
Games that they've copied off other people.
Well, they haven't necessarily copied. They've brought those teams in. And the people that created Dota are on the Valve team. The guys that made that made Counter-Strike were brought in and
so they're making mods.
Part of the mod team.
But they're just making mods.
They don't always make mods. What was the Portal wasn't a mod?
The shitty
Left 4 Dead wasn't a mod.
That was fucking yonks ago. It's been a fucking decade.
Artifact wasn't a mod.
Yeah, shitty code game. Baz has got you. They made one game, Artifact, and it was a dud. It was a.
They've made one game. Yeah, sure.
And the rest of everything else they made is mods.
Mods.
Of course. They just keep making mods. They're a mod.
I know that mod we've been talking about for the last fucking 2 months.
What it is a fucking mod. It's unequivocally a mod. It's
sure. But not anymore, it's not. It's a full fucking game that they update 3 times a week.
It's just a mod that they update 3 times a week. It's a mod of their own fucking
Nobody's working on it. It's a bunch of, wizards in a cave somewhere.
What? Just because it's a mod doesn't mean nobody works on it. It's just a mod. It's a mod that they want people to pay for and shit. Counter-Strike mod, Dota 2.
What's that? They're making that, So they brought in Campo Santo to the Egyptian game. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Where's
You've
that
definitely
game?
seen it.
Where's that game? Is it out?
No, that was the one they revealed it at I think it was the Game Awards maybe last year, and Valve acquired that studio.
And it doesn't exist.
The guys that made Firewatch, remember that?
Do I? What a game. What a fucking game. Yeah, no, I'm not saying they didn't acquire them. I'm saying there's no game out, so it doesn't exist. As such, their record
they're
for
gonna
the last
fucking
decade,
drop Half-Life 3 one day,
their record for the last
Left 4
decade
Dead
is
3,
artifact.
and all on one day. Just no advertising, just bam, it's out. Copped out. There's your game of the year, bitch.
Yeah, maybe. Probably
Or
not.
Dota 3. I reckon Dota 3 will be out
For Half-Life 3?
before Half-Life 3.
Yep. Good question, Baz.
Do you reckon Valve's making a Battle Royale game?
No. What?
Or they'll just steal someone else?
Campo Santo, fucking, here's a fucking do nothing fucking battle royale game where you just fucking walk around and fucking whoever gets bored, the last person to bore themselves to death wins.
Is there still like 20 people working on auto chess, Underlords?
I think so.
Yeah,
It's a lot of people working on the mod.
it's a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of wizards.
A lot of wizards.
All right, that's the news.
That is the the questions. Yes, that is the podcast. Yeah, we started late, and so we are finishing late.
We're finishing late, yeah.
But I am fucking starving.
All right, what do we got here? You can find The Gap on iTunes, Android, Windows Store under The Gap with the GA Podcast. We're on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, Spotify, YouTube. Just search, it'll come up. All your favorite podcast apps. Please rate and review the show if you've got some time. Helps other people find it, so we appreciate that. If you want to send us questions, you can email us gapodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our Discord page, thegapodcast.com/Discord.
Thank you for your questions this week. It was awesome.
Like Baz
and JB and Dangers with the 6 sign off. It was a good burn. You know, it was a solid burn sign off. But I asked them to ask questions beforehand because I knew we were going to do the podcast today. Maybe I'll try and ask for questions more often because I do love questions. I love them ever so much.
You can also jump on and follow the chat channels. People are posting things. Joe posted a bunch of videos on there today and his articles. I haven't posted mine, I didn't get a chance to, but check them out. You can also find us on Facebook.com/GAPodcast, Twitter.com/GAPodcast. You can go to our YouTube page, thegapodcast.com/YouTube. I'll put a bunch of... I'll have to edit some video footage of the Call of Duty gameplay. I'll put that on there as well.
Nice.
And if you want to also find past episodes of the show, you can go to thegapodcast.com, and we've got a bunch of the old episodes on there. Jobs. I tried to get people to say your name overseas, but no one would say it.
You missed out, man. When we were at the fucking taco truck at the lunch thing at the Call of Duty thing, they called me Joiba.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Joiba. And I like, yep. Is that a pork wrap? Pork burrito? And they're like, yep. Here you go, Joiba. I'm like, yep. Cool. Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, thegapodcast.com if you want to check out our past episodes of the show.
Yep.
Nate's E3 Extravaganza is up there as well. That's all thanks to our Patreon members. If you want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/GAPodcast. Thank you everyone that does that every month.
Thank you so much.
Muchly appreciated.
Yes.
And anything you want to spruik out?
I've spruiked everything already, but head to Red Bull and OzGamers to check out all my Call of Duty stuff. There's a shit ton of it. And actually on Red Bull, we got a really good interview with the Overwatch dev team about the new character that they're adding. His name, I can't fucking remember. I don't know. I didn't do the interview. But it's a good interview. It is a good interview. I just don't remember his fucking name. A lot of insight about how he was never designed to fix goats. So, yeah, and a really good goatsy pun. So,
Goatsy?
Goatsy pun, yeah.
What's that?
Just Google it.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? What do you got?
You go to Stevivor.com. I've got work up there now.
Yeah, you'll have another thing up there as well.
Yeah, Stevivor.com. You can go check out Call of Duty preview. I put an interview piece up, and then also by the time this comes out, you'll be able to read, hopefully, if it gets done, my preview for the Outer Worlds from Obsidian. It's their brand new sci-fi RPG. So we will talk about that next week because I had a feeling we probably would run out of time.
It was a good move. It was a solid move. Thank fuck.
Chose wisely.
Yes.
So we'll definitely talk about that game next week, and you can go to the Stevivor.com to read my thoughts on that one.
Awesome.
Otherwise, the other stuff that I've done, I can't talk about for a couple more weeks. So.
No, you can't. Cool.
Yeah. Next week we will be back. We'll be talking about Outer Worlds,
Underlords,
maybe Borderlands.
I don't think so.
About Borderlands next week.
I don't think so. Not by the time we do this. No way. No fucking way. Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I haven't seen the embargo, but I cannot imagine that we can.
Well,
all right.
Whatever's.
Cool.
And then some other stuff. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's the show. You find me on twitter.com/LukeLawrie, Jojo.
Yep.
And that's it.
Bye.